Welcome back to Dark Skies. This is Series 6.3 entitled A New Lease on Life. Last session, the group attacked the Militech camp out in the middle of nowhere. Lightly defended, definitely expected to be off grid and not noticed. Happen chance led to them finding it, or rather, um, shenanigans, corporate shenanigans. Point is, the raid went off perfectly with the assistance of the Gibson family. They were able to secure a number of the prisoners that were within the camp and recover them, and also secure the Militech AV. Um, you would arrive back at the Gibson camp, and the truck keys would be, of course, returned to Calvin. Um, and you would note that the very first thing that happens is the vehicle, the AV, is pretty much just descended upon by everybody in the Gibson family. Um, you can do whatever you like, but they're literally just, you know, removing the contents, the things that you wanted, and they're basically like standing around the thing in kind of a circle, while a couple of the technicians are kind of going into it and appear to be kind of scouring it. Um, the smarter folk amongst you, which would probably be Sugar, Zigzag, you're aware that they're probably making sure there's no tracking, there's no, any means of kind of global positioning or anything like that. And it looks like a lot of the other Gibsons are kind of standing around, like in congratulatory kind of cigarette smoking, beer drinking, and standing around waiting for, if they need to be, on hand to help out. That said, you have a couple of cryos, um, more or less just bags at this point, because you would have removed them from the tanks, it sounds like. But a total of one, two, three, four, five individuals that you would have secured from the location. And the information regarding those parties is in your handouts. Um, and yeah, you have a truck to get back to town.
Sorry, just to clarify, are we able to extract all 8, but just keep
The bodies are pretty easy to
5?
move.
Yeah, so I think we do want to recover as much,
Sure, the bodies
let's
are
use the word material as we can.
the bodies are easy enough to move. So yeah, the only one that I listed that you would not have would have been Joshua Brightman.
Yep, which is fine. But we do want the other 3.
Got it.
Which could you imagine farming those parts?
Joshua's
Shakespeare.
guaranteed Odette cyberpsychosis. It's like, oh, what? Plus 10 to my initiative for the first 10 rounds? What? Yeah, no.
Need therapy before then.
Yeah,
It took a whole day of therapy before.
a lot of
Back to
A
normal.
day.
Well, isn't that what? Didn't we only spend a day in therapy after our cybernetic installations?
No.
No, it's more
I
than
think, yeah, I think Crystal was in therapy for like a month.
that. For the arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, all you. I would say that just to make sure we're kind of on the same position, Chris, Stryker went into town, was securing some items, would have ran into a situation that he had to back out of the job, but was able to send materials that were necessary for the job along. Whatever the reason was is up to you, be it family related or what have you. So why Stryker would have had to have opted out at the last moment, or maybe he didn't know that the strike was going to happen that soon and kind of just didn't show up. It's entirely your call.
Could we say that he maybe ran into a little bit of trouble with sort of they're still called cops here, right?
Yeah, NCPD.
Like cops just like blocking off streets with some there was some other big, not big group, like there was some big shootout or something blocking off a bunch of streets. He was like, "Damn, can't get through here."
100%. Yeah, like an entire quarters are sectioned off, like blocked off
Yeah,
on a
some
whim,
terrorist holding a few people hostage.
or
Just another average Thursday night.
Gang
yeah,
wars are popping off right now.
a random street turning into a combat zone. Like these are all possible.
Those damn Joy Boys.
Yep, Joe boys.
Joe Boys.
I do like that you call them Joy Boys because
Ooh,
Joy
Joy
Boys,
Boys need to be a thing.
JOI
Boys
boys.
are
I feel like that's some sort of futuristic male prostitute.
Joy Toys are
100%
female
that would
and
be.
male, so and non-binary.
And
Any combination of the two.
Mhm.
Anything cybernetics can handle.
Heck yeah.
Got the whole spectrum.
Like literally, there are people who are called exotics. They get body sculpting to like become non-human, and I mean like animalistic, like
So like furries.
even in the future, you can't escape the fucking furries, man. There's no escape.
100%.
I don't want to
Hold on.
live on this planet anymore.
Cyber furries!
Even worse, there is a gang in Night City and in my version of Night City called the Gilligans, who literally everybody in the gang body sculpts to look like Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. No joke.
Why?
I don't know, man. You want to hang out with them and ask? Go find them.
Yes, I do.
God.
Prime time
love
TV
it.
I'm pretty
hero.
sure from wherever you're located in Night City, it's going to be about a 3-hour tour to get to them.
Do they like come down the alleyway snapping, like singing the theme, like
Right. They're just
I
a friggin'
almost-
A
gang.
3-hour
almost
tour.
Bad.
Oh my god! But they
My
they
root
spice
beer
it up
through
all
my
like
nose.
acapella style. And you got like one over there going, boom, boom.
Could be.
So this is like
There are a lot
this
of
is like total I just feel like we're being led into a genocide of the
Wait.
Gilligans.
fair. When a gang does something like that, they copy or emulate something from like popular culture or old media. They're called poser gangs.
Mm.
That's one way to call them.
Technically, the Barbies, or not the Barbies, the Angelic Petty and Barbie, who's one of the members of it, are a poser gang.
Wait,
There's
can there be the Barbs?
No, can't do that. I do not want to
Why?
upset the real Barbs by trying to
That's
role
true.
play
That's true.
actual Barbs in a game. No, they
That's
exist, but they're not here.
Okay, got it. That's like social media suicide.
Yeah, do
Understood.
not. No one's watching this. I don't want to. I don't want like.
You don't want that to be the reason that people are watching this.
Fair.
I would rather it be for my stunning storytelling
Good looks.
content.
Yeah.
Also looks, sure, why not?
And the it's the sunglasses.
It's sunglasses.
Yeah, the
It's
sunglasses.
The fact that you can see the DMs like screens.
yeah.
Luckily, I don't think
It's
we
like,
can
wait a
have it.
minute. I thought he rolled a 20. That looks like a 1.
So what are we doing
Oh,
with these parts?
Oh, why did we? I had 2 questions.
Shush.
Well, for Chris Stryker, do we know about like that side mission that you had to save your niece?
No,
Oh.
his family is
Okay.
unknown to everyone in the group.
Okay.
However, one of you, and only one of you, is aware of this information through connected means.
Mhm.
You know who you are. And I'm pretty sure Chris, with a guess, could basically say exactly.
yeah,
It's-
yeah.
it's-
I think I know who it is.
Yeah. Duh.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Then the second thing is I'm definitely gonna ask, why did we save? Now I gotta find his name again. Whoa.
Wait, what?
Because we saved one guy, so I'm asking. I'm going
Kool-Aid?
to zigzag. And I'm
Kool-Aid,
asking-
yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
I'm
he has
going
a
to zigzag and asking him, how come we saved Kool-Aid? I don't know if you actually remember why we made that choice, but I don't remember.
At the end of it, like,
Dying?
Yeah, I think Sugar was like freaking out because they were dying, and then everyone kind of came together, and Odette very quickly was like the first body. She saved him.
Oh no, I don't trust these Militech guys.
Fair enough. You have their DOS. I mean, you have their effective like information, like what I've given you.
Yep.
Anything else can be gleaned outside of that if you're wanting to kind of do some, digging in the streets. But I
Yeah,
really want to kind of
Looks
focus.
like he has a cool car.
Oh, brick.
Yeah.
Perhaps. So I really want to just make sure we understand where we're going to kind of move from here. The family is very focused on the AV. Hot get, this is what they wanted. This is the reason they were in the job. Their part of the situation is basically over, but they're there to communicate if you want to talk at them. There are 3 corpses currently kind of wasting away in the Night City sun, and 5 individuals rather, who are responsive, like they're still unconscious for the most part. And one of them is currently still being tended to by Odette, who is basically having to maintain kind of a consistent watch on this individual, and needs to get this person to like a facility, like would be watched over,
Oh, Calvin's got a job.
or just let them go.
Sugar is still, she's gonna be kind of sitting at the desk where she was net running from, and she's got her she's got her
Cyberdeck.
no, she's got her energy drink
Yeah.
and a cigarette, and she's like, did everyone survive? Y'all good? But she's
We
not
good,
getting up.
honey.
She's not getting up to check on them.
We made it, Sugar.
So
Oh.
like she hears that Crystal is okay, and so she's like, okay, that's good. That's the
I'm
one I
pretty
know
sure
best.
Chris is just still in the back of the truck. They
Sugar
came back
only
in the
cares
truck,
about-
right? Or did they come in the
Yeah.
AV?
So
I think we
kind
came
of
back in the
split.
truck.
The only one of you that rode
Oh,
in the AV, the only 2 of you that did, were Calvin, who flew it, and Odette, who had someone in critical condition that she had to kind of maintain in a stable platform. Truck on the open sands, not so much. A good point for that. AV, perfect for that. In fact, that
Yeah,
one was made for it.
there probably is the family. I guess I'll ask Daddy. Well, I guess we'll talk we'll go ask Daddy if I can run the AV out of town for 10 minutes.
Fuck no. Sorry, this is what we wanted. The
Son
fuel
of a
that-
gun.
The fuel that's in it is the fuel that's we're going to be able to use. We're not planning on using this for long hauls or anything. So if you're going to fly it into the city, first off, you're going to have to fuel it, which means you're going to have to show your license at the refueling station, which means you're going to be tagged to it, which means it's going to be connected to us, which means we use it for what we're going to use it for. You're basically just putting that job under the ground way before it even started. So no, fuck no. It stays here. We're going to do what we're going to do with it. Now, if you're worried about that fellow your nurse friend is looking after,
Yeah.
good luck. You got to bet of the truck. Drive slow, drive cautiously. You can make it back to Night City, no problem.
You guys
But,
at least got plans to harvest that camp?
Not really. Since pretty sure our scouts have already detected that they've already moved out onto it. So, yeah. They're probably going to fly by here, so we're just doing our quick looksies on the vehicle to just ensure it's got everything we need. Then we're putting it underground.
Does the current camp still have the anti-air turrets? Or
Oh yeah,
any turrets?
for sure. But I'm not going to war with Militech. That's you don't start a fight with Militech if you know what's good for you. Like,
No, fuck those guys. I'm still fuck those guys.
sure. And I'm not saying don't pick a fight with Militech. I'm just saying don't start a war with them. If they fly AVs over this and we start shooting at them, next thing they're going to do is bring in an airstrike. And if that doesn't work, then they're probably going to call in the U.S. military. And these are things I don't want to deal with,
Fair enough then.
especially since we have a lot of family connections that they're going to call out on us. And we're either going to be, thrown under a bus by our friends or start some very serious shit out here in the wastes. Both of which are options I'm not a fan of. So yeah, no, you cannot borrow the AV that you just stole for us. We do appreciate it.
I'll be back. Yeah,
that's fair. Is that stiff worth it?
I don't know yet. I would lean towards no, but
then just zero them and call it a fucking day.
Nah. Loyalty. You taught me that.
I mean, I don't know who that guy is, so I don't know to be loyal to him. But you got who you were after, right? Anika?
Yeah.
All right, then. The fuck are these other people for?
I don't know yet. I'll find that out.
Cool.
He gives up his fist for the DAP to his dad. Pieces out.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back to the team. Oh, it's a black cat.
Indeed.
Calvin will go into the back of the AV and check in on Odette.
It's at this point, Odette, it's pretty much just like you just have to monitor it. There's no hard work that's being done. You have them stable, but you know that it's a constant kind of process of, making sure their levels stay where they're at, staying stable. And with the gear that you have, it's not a situation where you're in a position to make it better. You definitely need a clinic. But yeah, Calvin comes in, meets up with you. You've already moved him out of the AV, and he's kind of not too far from where Sugar is in a building nearby.
Oh, then, are we basically just about to group up?
Wait, Stephanie, were you gonna say something?
I don't know if my microphone. Sorry, I thought my microphone wasn't working.
It's working now.
I was just gonna say, if this guy's important to you, we might want to get him somewhere better than here.
Are Anika and this person, Kool-Aid, gonna be safe on the back of my truck?
Anika for sure.
The other person's gonna be a risk. All right. I don't got much choice. Unless we can come up with a smoother way of getting them out of here.
Well, can we not take the other AV?
I drove the truck down.
Oh,
And I didn't drive the AV down this time.
that's right. I forgot.
Did Zigzag want to take the rest of these bodies?
I'm definitely interested in hold on. I need to double check these. Spider and Brick and Weaver. I don't know about the Russian. I guess if we have him, we might as well keep him. I don't really care about Steven or Kool-Aid rather.
Let him
I'm
die.
interested on the dirt signal might have pulled up.
If we can keep him alive and Odette thinks she can keep him alive, I see no reason to let him, to kill him. You know what I mean?
But one thing you'll note about Kool-Aid, the individual you've been keeping alive, is that it looks like a lot of his cybernetics have already been extracted. You do see that there's surgical prep, that has been done to ready him for installation of other cybernetics. But it doesn't look like that has been done. You can also see that there was quite a bit of trauma that had been dealt to him. And it looks like a lot of that has recovered, but it looks like it wasn't completely done. And when he uncryoed, basically those life functions started to try and work again and couldn't. So basically, there isn't much to him other than he very clearly appears to be a very well-built specimen of human male. Like he was kind of raised and trained to be a fighting person. But I mean, to be honest, you're pretty sure he, is kind of a dime a dozen when it comes to Militech. Why he was being specially processed in this way, you're not sure. It's not showing up in your eye.
Clearly, so he could bust through walls going, oh yeah.
Out of character note, Tim played a
yeah.
character named Kool-Aid, Stephen Hart, and he did break through walls. That was his whole gimmick. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
they were doing. They were an extraction team, and
Is this the greatest player I've ever heard?
Tim? Yeah, Tim's good people.
He's great.
A character made out of
Tim played Lucky. Oh, you haven't met Lucky
Yeah.
yet. Too bad.
Yeah,
Or Spotlight, another fun
Yeah.
one.
that was a fun one.
Have to see some spotlight.
Spotlight's hilarious. But yeah, so the question, I guess, is do you want to keep him or do you want to dumpster him?
I see no reason to keep him alive. He seems useless.
Yeah.
I mean, keeping him alive is that even if he's not going to, let's say, recover, can Odette sell the parts?
With
Like the meat part?
understanding what you have available to you, Odette, he is worth more dead than he is alive. Unless there's something inside of his brain, like knowledge-wise or training-wise, that you're not aware of, which you're not sure why there would be. He's just an operative. He's worth more in pieces than he is breathing.
I just mean keeping him alive until we can get him on ice or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know if she has enough ice bags.
Yeah, I mean, with the cryo bags you were able to pull, you can keep the body parts working. You just can't keep the bodies working.
Okay.
Like, the body parts are usable. It's just that the people that had them are now dead.
Right. Fair enough to me.
Are any of the living? Yeah, Sugar pops her head out and is kind of like doesn't really care about this guy, but she is curious about the other people that are still alive. Are they are they still unconscious?
They're responsive in that, like, they're starting to show kind of like reactive kind of function, nervous system kind of function, breath, respiratory functions happening, but they don't appear to be like awake, conscious. You can definitely try and rise them. Like, that's absolutely possible. That would be true of everyone with the exception of Kool-Aid.
Icarus is probably just stuck like glue to the side of Anika.
That's where Crystal would be too.
Yeah, she
Bestie.
seems great. I do want to make sure you're understanding the visual here. They're all naked, stark as,
Yeah.
like the day they were born. So I just want to make sure you understand, like, when I was trying to be subtle, I didn't want to just outright say it to Stephanie.
Okay, whatever.
He is
I imagine Anika has Zigzag's jacket over her, but
Yeah,
that's the
if
only one.
Sure.
not
Yeah,
Zigzag,
or-
I gotta
well,
think.
probably Zigzags and
I was
Icarus is covering her.
I was doing another one of those double entendre things where
Yeah.
Kool-Aid is a like model specimen of a human male. Just want to make sure that is very thoroughly put out there.
Yeah. There's a human specimen. And
Wait,
then
are you talking
there's
about his weenie?
our bestie.
I'm talking about his wiener.
Oh,
Chijo,
his
yeah.
weenie.
His wiener is impressive. It does not appear to be Mr. Stud implant. So there
Well-
is that. But yeah, I would say
All
that
natural.
if you have any
Chicks
questions about
before dicks. That's
Hey!
chicks before dicks.
I don't disagree. But that said,
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes. Are there any questions you have about any of the parties that are listed here, either dead or alive?
Only Kelvin would be interested in Shinjo Aisura, just because she was a media trying to dig into the depths of Militech and like
Sure.
what was her background like.
If you throw
Not
up
that it
like
would
a
be.
search for her on like the simple net, it's not able to like easily connect out here because you don't have much signal to the local terms in Night City, but you're able to connect kind of. It's a very slow connection, but through the same means that Sugar's kind of connected. That said, if you kind of search Signal, he was a reporter who worked during the 20s. He was definitely a reporter who put in a lot of work on exposés on Militech and Militech operations in Night City. One of his larger stories was regarding the beginnings and kind of the aftermath of the corporate war between Arasaka and Militech. Yeah, it seemed like he was very problematic for a lot of individuals in Militech, at least when it came to kind of public optics. And then he disappeared from what you understand, looking at the, information on the net, or on the, the locals, the terms. It looks like he kind of just disappeared without a trace. You'd also note that he had associations with the Joe Boys. It seems like he did a lot of work with them and was able to kind of function in South Night City quite well because of the assistance he got from them.
On the wrong side of that fence, but I know how these media and corpo types work. They do what they got to do.
Yeah, you got a media friend, Caroline Medina.
So Sugar would walk out, look around. They're all naked. She'll flip up her goggles. Oh, and is that Anika? Are we gonna wake her up? Has anyone tried to wake her up?
She will wake when she's ready
sleeping. In my experience, she doesn't really like being waken up.
Well, what about the other gonks?
I don't
to
care
wake.
about
That
them.
is payment for all that.
There's a sudden kind of like thudding sound, and you can actually hear kind of like what sounds like plastic being pushed against. When you look over at the bags, you see the one that's holding the Russian kind of like shaking around violently, and it looks like the person inside is trying to get out.
Seems
I
we have
poke
our
it with my
first,
toe.
What?
Maybe open it.
I'm sorry. He
If
just
you-
kind of nudges it.
If you kind of move over to the bag stops moving, and you can see the face inside, kind of like looking angrily out. And when you kind of move towards the zipper, he kind of like, his eyes narrow as if he's trying to focus through like the plastic, which is not all the way transparent. It's kind of like that frosty kind of transparent, and he's kind of looking at you confused, whoever it is that's opening the bag. Who's opening the bag?
Oh, me.
Okay, so yeah, very confused look on his face. And as you kind of open up the bag, you can kind of see him kind of pulling out the devices that are kind of like connected to him in the bag, and he kind of pulls his head out. Immediately, there's kind of like a frosting that kind of happens. Like he was damp, but like with kind of like a cool, kind of cold dampness. And the second he comes out of the bag, it's like it all melts and he's just kind of like glistening. And he kind of looks at you and says, "Who the fuck are you?"
I don't know. Who the fuck are you?
The Russian. "Who the fuck are you?"
Zigzag. It is a pleasure to meet you, my friend.
He looks down at himself. He's a hairy
My
individual.
apologies. I did not put you in this predicament.
He kind
I have
of
only recovered you from it. No.
kind of looks down, and you can see that he's kind of a hairy individual. But you can also see there's quite a bit of cybernetics. The main thing that's kind of standing out to Sugar is that shit's ancient. Like the Neuralware processor he has in his neck, that's at least 30 years old.
Like, Sugar will start kind of like giggling, like as if she were kind of giggling at his nakedness, but she's actually giggling because of his shitty cyberware.
You see him kind of look at you like fucking annoyed, like face, and he's just like,
As soon as he does, I like pull out a pack and I go to hand him a cigarette. You smoke?
I think I'm going to like you. Takes a cigarette, kind of holds it up to his mouth.
And he pulls out his thumb and lights it for him.
What'd you say your name was again?
Zigzag.
You're not
It
Militech,
is,
right?
Oh no, quite the opposite.
Good. Fuck that.
I agree, my friend.
Indeed.
I agree. So tell me, are you interested in
Pair of pants? Yeah, I'm fucking interested in a pair of pants.
Of course, this can be arranged, I believe. He
Maybe
looks to Calvin.
we'll talk a bit after I, maybe get a phone or
I'll see what I can
something
find.
and see what I can do about the situation. But you're sure you're not Militech, right?
That I am not. no.
How long have I been?
Icarus spits on the floor.
How long have I been frozen?
Well, let's say what year do you think it is?
That's a very fucking weird question to ask a person. You know that. 2023, right?
This is I think it's a bit higher.
Odette
What
just
year
starts
is it?
laughing.
It's 2046.
She's like, we dug up a caveman, guys.
Encino Man. Yo.
Demolition Day or Demolition
Oh
Man.
my
yeah.
god.
Shh, no.
What's that one with
No, I
Brendan
said a good
Fraser?
movie.
Sugar's
Hey.
Sugar's expression goes from like really like ah ha ha that shit to like oh shit what the fuck, you know? Like that's not funny. He's been frozen for decades. That's disturbing.
Zigzag will pull one of his burner phones out of his pocket and hand it to him and say, "You can try to use it, but I apologize. It's been
Where are the fucking buttons?
more than 20 years since you've been."
Odette's just like
Uh,
bubbled over.
Twen-
Twen-
She's-
2023 had buttons, so 2046 is more touchscreen. And he's like, where are the fucking buttons?
doubled over in
Where are the
laughter.
fucking buttons
just-
on this then?
Yeah, Icarus just like shakes his head and he's like, this is not my job.
Kind of looks
Somebody
over,
else
Sugar, Sugar looks disgusted.
looks over at Odette, who's laughing.
Buttons?
Kind of looks back to Zigzag. Show me how this fucking thing works, okay?
Gramps needs you
And
to
he,
show
like-
him how to do the phone.
Yeah, in the same way you like with the patience of a grandchild teaching their grandfather how to get to YouTube. Like
He's surprisingly He's surprisingly quick. Like,
Yeah, it's just like instead of this, you use gestures. So you pull up to get the number pad, and then you can,
How'd you
draw
kinda-
it in the air instead of using. a
you go over
button.
with him and you kind of see him kind of nod, and he very quickly kind of takes control of it. You see him dial a number, which is like a 12-digit number, you think. So you know it's not a local call, definitely international. And he kind of like
He's got one of my burners. I don't give a fuck.
puts his ear to the phone and just starts talking in Russian. I can't speak Russian. I don't think anybody in the party can. So it's literally just a guy talking Russian on the phone to someone who's talking Russian back at him for a good couple of minutes. He gets up, stark ass naked, and starts walking around the camp. You see Calvin not Calvin, Daddy look
Yeah,
over at Calvin
I'm still grabbing pants.
as he's running back with the pants, kind of like angrily, like, get him the pants faster.
Get the naked Russian man
And,
out of my camp.
He's kind of like, smoking the cigarette, annoyed, and then eventually kind of like looks down at it, takes a second, does like kind of like that long kind of like, making sure he's pressing the right button kind of deal, and like, shuts the phone off, and then throws it back over towards Zigzag, just standing
As he
there. out in the
goes
open.
to throw it, I'm gonna put up a hand. No, that is yours to keep, my friend. Please, I have plenty more.
He puts the cigarette on his lip, takes the pants from Calvin as he kind of like hands them over, kind of puts them on. Jeans, right?
They would have been just some raggedy shit I put together.
Okay. Yeah, he puts them on. You see him kind of like
Jorts!
kind of like-
Canonically, Calvin's moved all of his stuff into his apartment, so all he has left is the rags he used to wear going on.
pull him up onto his stomach. He's got a bit of a paunch despite having been frozen for quite a while. And I'm assuming you gave him some kind of shirt as well, right?
Yeah.
He throws that on. Well, shit. That's a fucking weird thing to do, huh? I don't know why my accent changed.
It's very hard to stay in one accent when you're going back and forth with another. No, it's brutal.
Da.
Oui.
You
He
got a story,
says-
brother.
Well,
Uh,
thank you, I suppose, for your assistance here.
Wait. I guess I don't know if it's rude to ask, but why did they freeze you?
I'm sorry, little girl. I don't know what your future currently is about, but I can tell you that the past that I'm from is a fucked up one. Very fucked up. And it seems that a lot of what I expected was going to happen has fucking happened. And Militech was not a fan of me. Not a fan at all. The fuck am I doing out here? Where is this? Where's Night City?
You've told us nothing so far.
Wait. So you were fighting against Militech?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You just woke up. Same time. I think you can understand. I need some sort of like proof that you're not just some Militech agent before I tell you where you are right now.
Kind of looks at Calvin. You know, if it wasn't for the fact that you gave me pants and a t-shirt, I'd break your fucking nose for trying to think that I'm some Militech punk beach. But since you gave me pants and a shirt, we're even. We'll call it there. I don't break your fucking nose, and I have pants and a shirt. This is good. Yeah?
Good deal.
Grandpa's spicy.
Fair trade. Okay.
I take a
Now-
punch in the nose though.
Real quick, I should have asked this. Is Stryker present?
Yeah. You arrived.
Yeah.
Oh,
you,
shoot,
You
Oh
arrived.
no! Oh no!
You arrived. Like, as they were kind
Okay.
of dealing with that, maybe a minute or two after you arrived, the Russian popped out of the bag.
Okay. I was
Oh
assuming
my
that I
god!
wasn't present.
Striker must be so confused. We just show up with a bunch of bodies in a bag, and one of them just starts like coming to life. Okay.
I think he's kind of used to it at this point.
Nice city, baby. Anything can happen. Gotta be ready.
Test.
Yep, we can hear you.
While all of this is
Does he-
going on, Sugar's gonna be looking for Winston Wallace. She doesn't really know who he is. Like, she can't. Like, is there an image associated with their file or no?
There is. So the individual that you see on file is a black man with a massive afro and just like a really cool look. And when you look through the bags, there is exactly one black man, and he still has the afro. It is
That shit's hard to keep up.
Amazing.
beautiful.
good for him.
Like sculpted, like,
Amazing.
or whatever the
Except it's
terminology is.
probably
That,
flat on the bag.
yes,
Sculpted,
it is very flat on the bag for sure because he is laying in a bag.
Oh.
Would Sugar recognize him as a netrunner of repute?
Yep. Yeah, he is someone who ran with the Joe Boys back in the day. He was definitely on Militech's bad side. He was responsible for the first falling of the Red Rings, which was and still kind of is a rival gang to the Joe Boys. He, to your knowledge, worked with Militech, but worked against Militech, worked with Arasaka, but worked against Arasaka, worked with a lot of different corporations. One of his biggest, what he would call Sanjuroing. If you're not familiar with the movie Sanjuro in real life, your character might be, since, you know, it's kind of a pop culture phenomenon in Night City. Because samurai mentality. But Sanjuro is a sorry, not Sanjuro, Yojimboing. Terminology wrong. But Yojimbo is a movie about a guy who walks into a town and basically plays two gangs for suckers, and in the end, kind of comes out on top. And so he basically would do that with other gangs and also with other corporations. He would Yojimbo them, is what he would call it. And the terminology is still occasionally used in Night City. But the main one that he did, the big Yojimboing he did, was between Militech and Biotechnica. And
Holy shit.
basically got the two corporations to basically have an out skirmish south of Night City, in between Night City and the border, and walked away from it scot-free, like, and pockets quite loaded. So he kind of disappeared in the 2020s, 2030s, but there was still kind of like rumors that he was out and about. Based on the way he looks, it and also the information you had on him in his dossier, it doesn't sound like they've had him for very long. Obviously, the one that they had the longest would have been, besides the people who work for them, is the Russian.
They haven't had him for very long, but he's been gone since the 20s.
He disappeared in the late 20s, 30s. I mean, like, he was very notorious and kind of open, like a netrunner who was out
I
on the
see
scene.
what you're saying.
He kind of went into
Faded.
the, yeah.
Okay.
But he was still like, there's still occasional like pop-ups of him like appearing and doing shit. Just not as common.
Does his tech look old-timey, or does it look more...
No,
up-to-date?
it looks relatively newer. From what you can tell, it looks like he has, if you kind of like, look him over, do you want to pull him out of the bag?
Sugar is not putting her hands
Okay.
on that bag, but
So-
she's gonna try to get Icarus to do it.
Okay.
Hey, Icarus, can you get this one out? I
Yeah.
want to talk to
right.
him.
He'll just walk over, start unzipping.
The Russian goes,
Doesn't care.
hey, wait.
What?
If you're going to start waking these people up, get them some fucking clothes first. Do you want to have the same situation you had with me? What the fuck is your people's problem?
We're a bunch
Fucking-
of freaks.
Fucking uncultured
But
nomads.
no, I'm not.
Oh.
No.
Calvin is working on that in the background.
Okay, he says that while Calvin's working on that, so he doesn't get the insult of a fucking uncultured nomads.
So Calvin would
Oh,
eventually
wait,
come
do I
back
wait
with
for more
clothes and some
clothes?
beers.
If you unzip the bag just to look inside, Sugar, you would note that it looks like there is a slot in his neck for a cyberdeck, like neural wear processor, like just hard tether, but it doesn't look like it's there. It does look like he has quite a bit of cyber optics. Looks like virtuality inside of the optics. You actually realize that his eyes are very similar to Striker's. Striker has has a single cyber eye, top of the line Kuroshi, and this guy appears to have two of them that are very high end Kuroshi optics. From probably, I'd say top of the line, maybe like 3 years ago, but still like really high dollar even now.
Does he have a chip socket?
Chipware sockets there, yeah. Empty
Is
though.
there a chip? Okay. And what about that experimental tech?
Oh, yeah. So there's a strange device connected to the back of his head. It looks like they kind of shaved the afro out in like a panel and then slotted something kind of like into the back of his head.
Rude.
Whoa.
They don't touch a man's hair.
Or he
Oh.
did. But yeah, it looks like
Oh, okay.
if you had to venture a guess, and if Odette's on the scene to kind of like help you with it, it looks like it's plugged directly into like the base of the brain, like the medulla oblongata, kind of like, spinal column connection there.
Dave, did your brain go to water point?
It did.
Okay.
It also reminded
don't
me that I
what?
have water and I should be drinking it. But mine
The
is
medulla oblongata.
That is a good reminder. Everyone drink your water. You can get mine
Got
from
water
the
right
freezer.
now. I'm gonna drink my.
So you get everybody closed before you start waking them up, and it sounds like you are waking up at least Winston Walsh. Is that right?
I mean, Sugar is just curious at this point if like Basically, Sugar will do whatever the fuck Zigzag tells her to do. And if he doesn't tell her to pack it the fuck up and get the fuck out, she's gonna, bother Winston Wallace
Okay.
and try to like get into his like netrunnery, business
Okay.
until someone stops her.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then we're just going to assume that you're waking him up on your own with Icarus nearby. Sound good?
I want to make Icarus do it.
Okay. Icarus is
Icarus,
waking
will you
him
do it?
up, and you are nearby. There. While that's happening, is there anybody of interest? I mean, the Russian's standing there. If nobody gives him another cigarette, he will walk over to Zigzag and ask for one.
Yeah, I as soon as he walks over, I know exactly what he wants, and I pull it.
You immediately realize too that like he smokes like you smoke. He is a smoker. He also asks you when he gets over to you, do you have anything to drink?
Let's say
Um,
at this moment, Calvin would walk up with the clothes and beers.
If he sees beers, he's like, okay, yeah, this is reminding me of my pirate friends. Fuck yes. You know, the thing I like about nomads, they don't know how to dress or act culture, but they fucking know how to party, yeah?
that is true. I've been to plenty.
If you got the gut for it, we got some homemade stuff for you too.
I got the gut for it. Let's fucking get this out.
Yes, let's get the Russian drunk within 10 minutes of him waking up after 30 years.
Buddy,
I
stuff
don't
he's
blame him.
You know,
stuff
he
today is
probably
way
deserves
stronger
it.
than it was 20 years ago.
Listen,
Calvin
I don't
would
know
then
what
continue his tour to
he,
other
he,
people.
he says to Calvin and kind of like follows him around, and then like, once he places the beers down, kind of pulls one out. He says kind of over to him, he says, do you know about the black sharks?
Does Calvin know about the black sharks?
It's a family. They're mostly Swedish that are based off of the coast. They run the entirety of the Pacific coast for like from Baja up to Washington. They are considered pirates.
Any Militech affiliation?
None.
Deal. Then
The main thing
canonically,
is
Calvin
they
is
hate
a big fan.
they hate chromers. They hate chromers and they hate boosters. Like they do not fuck with them. They don't mess with corpse either. They pretty much just run their own shit. But yeah, they're very heavily armored and very heavily armamented. Like most of their boats have like very big guns on them.
Culturally, how do they treat their people?
Good. Yeah, very
Then
good.
yeah, Calvin big fan. Calvin
Yeah.
big fan.
If you're family, you're family. If you're friends of the family, you're family. And if you're an enemy of the family, you're fucked.
You're
dead.
dead.
Yeah.
You're dead.
But
Why would you come out here and tell us you want to die?
he said, I used to date their main guy. Me and him, we would sail up to the coast, play a little bit of Street Fighter 7, and you would know at this time Street Fighter 7 is like old, it's an outdated game. It's mostly an inside joke, but fair enough.
Oh, hey, I
and,
used to play that game when I was little.
He kind of looks over at Striker. Fucking salt and pepper, bitch. And then looks back at Calvin. So, anyways, yeah, I've got some good friends. If they're still fucking doing shit on the coast, maybe I can call them up, see if my boy's still around or not. But he takes a sip of the beer. This is pretty good. But yeah, that homemade shit, yeah, bring it around.
Cheers, mate. Clink.
Meanwhile, Striker, you're kind of standing near them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you wanting to?
Probably helping like open up body bags once we get clothes, maybe starting to wake some people up.
Any of the remaining ones? So it looks like Winston is kind of, or Weaver rather, is being handled by Sugar and Icarus. Zigzag looks like he's kind of just walking about. We're going to get to him in a second. Calvin looks like he's also kind of playing like the middle ground, kind of helping everyone out. I'm pretty sure Crystal's going to go right for Anika.
Oh yeah, she's like making sure she's covered before Calvin even gets there. Like she's ready to take off her shorts and just walk around in panties just so Anika can be covered. And she's just like fixing her hair because like it's probably a little messed up.
Calvin, you're surprised to have had Daddy tell you, hey, go to my room. I think Anika left an outfit there. So you actually come back out with a pile of clothing, and you would have like a red kind of like businessy suit and like a red kind of like, hat.
A million things running through Calvin's mind, like why, how, when,
Why
why?
not?
So, in case this has not been laid out to you clearly, Daddy fucks.
Oh, I
Like,
know, I knew that, but
Okay.
never. I just like IRL. I assumed that their relationship was just business.
yeah, well, sometimes business has
Business.
perks.
Don't know if Calvin would ever saw Anika coming into the camp, but
Never
it
would
was
have.
business.
Yeah, she was also doing a lot of jobs with your father, if you remember, while you were doing a lot of jobs with Zigzag.
Mhm.
But yeah, and Odette is busy unless she's bodying this asshole. Kool-Aid. You're kind of still handling that situation unless you want to just end him.
Oh no, yeah, he's toast. Like,
Okay. You go, oops, I must have slipped. I didn't carry the 2. And he's dead. Like, literally, you end his life without an issue. And you could probably, in like a split second, just throw out the arms and snap him into nice bits to bag up and put into a cooler box.
yes.
Similarly, do you want to do likewise with the other deceased parties? Kind of salvage what you can from them?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, go ahead and make a surgery roll while we're...
I would ask Odette to hold off on Spider. I'd like to take my time with that tech.
Okay.
Get him back to either your clinic or take Spider to Tark. And
So
I'm happy with you cutting up the other 2 bodies out
3.
here in the field. 3, sorry. Yes, 3. Right. I guess I didn't really count the
One she
nervous
just
system
made?
as a body. No, I didn't count the just like organs, nervous system, and brain as a body. But
Oh, fair.
the other 2
yeah.
bodies she can cut up and do what she wants with. As she starts doing that, Zigzag like takes a drag, looks over and says, "Leave that one. I'd like to take him to Tark or
Well-
back to your place before you butcher it in the desert." No.
It's easy enough. What'd you get with the surgery roll?
Uh,
Okay, let me know when you roll it. But the other thing I wanted to note too is Grisha, the lump of nervous stuff. You're able to cut these bodies up fine, by the way, with that 19. But the Grisha, you notice that she is actually inside of what is known as a changeable chassis. So basically, it is a cell pod, which are very expensive, by the way. We're talking 50,000, eddies.
Money.
That if you can have someone surgically remove your brain, your brainstem, your nervous system from your body and load it into this device, you can literally have a plug and play setup where you can remove your core, put it into a cyborg body, and be able to drive that around for a time. Pull it out of that one and put it into a different chassis as needed. This is very expensive tech.
So we got a Ghost in the Shell situation.
It kind of is, yeah. It's more of a RoboCop 2 situation.
Gotcha.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty rad.
And I believe we are even on payments. No.
Yeah. If you take the lot here of parts, yeah, this definitely makes you even, Steven. Especially with Steven, who you now have his parts to sell off. You know that Tark will probably buy some of this lesser shit, no problem, Odette. But
food all in the fucking pantry.
yeah, pantry.
fucking pantry. But yeah, that would be what you got. Moving on. What else do we got? Crystal, Anika. Okay, and Zigzag, are you staying anywhere close to anything or anything?
Did Blue Eyes give me a contact number? No.
No, he said he would call you.
That's what I thought. Then I imagine he's just staying close by and kind of smoking and watching.
Is there anybody in specific you want to stay focused with? Russian, Weaver, Brick?
I think the Russian is fine with Calvin.
Yep.
I'm gonna let Sugar do whatever she wants with Weaver to an extent. And I guess I would be most curious about Brick because
Okay.
he's the most cryptic from the descriptions.
Yeah. So you would actually know about the job that was mentioned in the dossier. It's something that's kind of notable because it actually falls into someone you know's background. You know a solo whose name currently is blank, but before then went by the name Shaker, and before that went by the name Chase. And when they went by the name Chase, they rolled with a group that consisted of Mickey,
Who I've actually done a job with too.
Yep. Brick, who was their driver, individual known as the Night City Knight, who you know lived past this and became very notorious as a crime fighter.
The Night City Knight.
The Night City Knight. A cop whose name you've never been able to kind of factor. And you do know there was an individual named Brick who drove around for them. And then they had a tech who was named Spider. That was their group. They rolled together. And you know that they basically got the reason why Chase became Shaker in the mid-20s was because they got wiped off the fucking map. They got airstruck by Militech. It was literally a Mickey called in a hit on his own friends to stop them from doing dirty on Militech. He backstabbed the shit out of them. It appears that Spider's body was pulled off of the concrete and put into a body bag. But based on what you can see here, it looks like a lot has changed with him since last you recall. The stories are a little to kind of make out for someone a bit different than what you're seeing here. And Brick, you don't really know anything about other than he was the driver.
That's what makes me the most curious.
Yep. Okay, so let's go with Weaver first. Icarus, you wake him up. He kind of looks at you. Kind of like scratches his head. Can I help you? You're not private security.
Nope.
Well, they've really loosened up their prescriptions on attire. Looks over at Sugar. Huh, nice goggles.
Hey, you're Winston Wallace. No, should say, hey, you're Weaver.
That's right. Kind of looks over at the pile of clothes for me.
Yep.
She hadn't even noticed. Yeah, sure, whatever. Who gives a shit?
Kind of pops out of the bag. It looks like he, similarly to the Russian definitely was a little bit more kind of like shy, but like not like, oh my god, don't look at me, just like, nervous from standing. He doesn't seem to have any qualms about being naked in front of anyone. Throws on his pants, throws on his shirt, kind of like starts feeling at his neck and goes, "Oh, they didn't let me keep that. Idiots let me keep this." Kind of looks over at Sugar. You got a cyberneck there, lady? Kind of walked over to you.
Yeah.
Can I wait? Where the fuck are we?
Well, what happened to you? You just disappeared off the map, and now you're in an ice bag with Militech?
As you're talking, he kind of puts his finger over your lip. He says, "That's a lot of questions coming on a little strong, ma'am. I don't even know your name."
You owe us. We got you out of there.
Yeah, that's probably true, but your questions are a little, let's say, sensitive. Can we go with that? I mean, I'd love to answer them.
How many?
But I don't know the context,
How many years has he been on ice?
It looks like he hasn't been on ice for more than a couple of weeks, based on your records.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's any kind of information about him regarding it, other than he was on Militech's bad side in the past, and now he's in a body bag or in a cryo bag. with strange tech that you've never seen.
Well, I'm curious about all of it. I want to know what happened. Here, yeah, you can use my cyber deck. Just don't fuck around with it.
Slots it into the side of his neck. There's like literally just like a computer in the side of his neck. And you see him kind of go, oh yeah. Ooh, that's nice.
Icarus looks like vaguely weirded out by this.
Kind of points
like,
at
he
her
just
and
doesn't understand that.
says sugar, right? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's me.
That's a really weak password.
Uh,
You see him kind of like looking up, his eyes turning bright red. Oh, okay, I see what the deal is. I'm not gonna go too
Fucking
much.
rude.
He hands it over. I'm not gonna go too much deeper. I don't want to pry into your shit. I'm gonna need a clean deck though. That one's dirty. I don't know if you're familiar with Arasaka or not, but they're watching your shit, so maybe you should probably work on that. He kind of walks over to Icarus. Do you smoke?
Yeah.
Do you pull out cigarettes and hand them to him?
Yeah.
He goes,
But like,
no,
as
no,
soon
no,
as
no.
they s-
No, I'm sorry. Do you smoke?
Oh,
Like, you got
No.
anything good? Like cannabis, lace, dwarfs? What do you got? Nothing? Fuck it. Walks
Sugar
past.
pulls out an energy drink.
Kind of takes it from you reluctantly. So weird. And kind of like wanders off a little bit. Just kind of
So rude.
looking around. You do hear him whisper, kind of like a,
These fucking dead people are super ungrateful.
"Oh,
And
Garly."
very entitled. It's like they came from positions of power and think they still got it.
Brick Zigzag. It's easy enough to wake up, and he goes, "Hey, do I know you?
Not yet.
Zigzag, right?
That is impressive. I did not know you were aware of me.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Please, and
worked with
he
Grease.
gestures. He gestures before he can even get that out to the clothes.
Oh shit! You see him kind of like very kind of skittishly kind of put on the clothes.
Yeah.
He didn't even notice.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was just laying there staring up at the sky. There's Zigzag. He's like, "Oh, you're Zigzag." He's like, "You as he's kind of getting the clothes on and gets the shirt on, he says, "You worked with Grease for a while, didn't you?"
I used to, yes.
You know a kid named Lucky?
I do. Yes.
He okay?
Last I knew, have not heard otherwise, but I'm sure he would be easy to check in on, no?
That's good. Good to hear.
How are you, my
Oh.
friend? Do you smoke? And he goes to hand him one.
Nah, I'm good. Did you find my key?
Pardonnez-moi. And he looks around. Yeah, no, yeah, I have it.
All right, good, cool. What are the chances you can get me to Watson? I'm pretty sure we're pretty far from it, by the looks of it. Don't have too many rocks in Night City.
I believe we can get you back to your vehicle. At the very least, no?
Cool. So can you tell me what happened here? Like, why am I in a cryo bag?
That is what we were hoping to find out from you. You were being held by Militech. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, they've been after me for a while. I'm sure they got greased, didn't they?
Somebody got grease.
Yeah, he was doing some fucked up shit. That makes
It
sense.
was a bit of a problem. Do you know about this? Do you know about this fucked up shit?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
This is great.
Kind of. A little bit. You kind of overhear things when you're driving someone around, you know? And they're talking.
I have a friend I believe would empathize with that statement.
Fair. Oh shit. He kind of looks over and kind of looks directly at what appears to be a symbol. The Gibsons rolling in here? This is the Gibsons camp?
We?
Brick stands up, kind of walks around. Daddy, where the fuck you at? Starts
Oh, no.
walking around. You have no idea who Brick is, by the way, Calvin.
I assume I'm over by the AV showing Kool-Aid the gift like
Kool-Aid's dead.
The Russian. The
Liz
Russian.
said,
You got the
shit.
Russian.
That's
Look.
not his name. Kool-Aid is not the Russian.
The
No.
Russian is the
Two different
Russian.
people.
The
oh
Russian
my
is his
god, I
name.
have
The Russian is the Russian's handle.
Yanisi Mokorovich.
Yep. You'd call him the Russian. If you said his real name, he'd slap you in the mouth.
Oh, he did he offer that as a? As
He never
a
offered his
alternate,
name.
though? Oh, so I'd be over by the AV showing brother around the Gibson camp,
Okay.
swapping stories about like his experiences over there. And
You'd hear the guy that Zigzag was talking to yell loudly, "Yo, Daddy, where the fuck you at?" and just start walking around. He's relatively like middle age, kind of like probably Daddy's age, like white guy. He's currently wearing whatever you gave him, but it definitely looks like he's the type of guy who would probably wear like, you know, like a t-shirt. He's the kind of guy who'd just be wearing a t-shirt, you know.
and no pants.
Yeah, he just, no, I mean he'd
I
be
guess it's a
wearing
look.
he'd be wearing like khaki shorts. This is the kind of guy, just based on the look of him and the way he's carrying himself, he looks like the kind of guy who, you know, the kind of guy who would shop at like oh god, I can't remember the name of the shirt shop in so I think you should leave. But
Fucking
you know what I'm talking about. It's like tip of my
Yes.
brain. He's the kind of guy who'd wear that kind of shirt.
Dan Flashes. or
Dan
something like that.
Flashes. He's the kind of guy who would wear a Dan Flashes shirt
It's just us.
and khaki shorts. And he's walking through the camp, and you can see Daddy kind of like he's getting everybody kind of ready to move to AV to underground. They've already pulled blowjacks and shit out, and you see Daddy has a look of recognition. He's all Brick and walks over and they clasp hands, and they're kind of looking at each other. And he's like, "How are the Gibsons?" Brick says, and Daddy says, "Fuck, Gibsons are doing great. How are the Aldecados?" It's like, "Fuck if I know. They've been in a bag I've been in a bag for the last few weeks. What do you want from me?" I've also been working in Night City, so I don't know. Family's been kind of keeping loose from me. This isn't happening too far away from you, Calvin, so you're kind of overhearing it.
Calvin just slightly confused, like
And Brick and Daddy seem to
Daddy
be just kind of
chill.
shooting the shit, and they are both very chill. And a lot of people who are younger, like your age in the family, don't know who this guy is. Some of the lady folk who kind of circle around Daddy, and some of the, you know, older, like, you know, members of the family that are not like his children or like friends of his children, are kind of looking at him with recognition, like they know Brick. Like he's a nomad, like he's one of the, you know.
Old friend.
Now he's family. He's family. Calvin's just used to Daddy being hard on the kids.
Yep.
So he's like, anytime he sees Daddy just chilling, it's just like, what? Who are
It's good
you?
shit.
Who's this guy?
But yeah, they seem to be chill. As you're kind of looking after him, Zigzag, and you're like, seems like he knows a lot about.
I imagine as soon as he says that, "Yo, where you at, Daddy?" He's like, "He doesn't need me. I'm gonna go turn to see what happened with Weaver." At that point,
And
I'm
as you're
like,
kind of moving that way, like you would still think about like, and I just want to make sure you have this on the docket for things to do. It does sound like Brick knows a lot about what happened with Grease, like, and why that situation was a situation. So that is definitely information you'll want to pump. And then
100%.
Crystal, last but not least, Anika wakes up out of the bag, sees her clothes, and goes, "Huh. This is the new camp, huh?" She smiles. Is that you?
Yeah.
I bet you're pissed off at me. She says as she gets into her business suit. She's just getting dressed right there in front of you. Surprisingly, no panties are present with clothes, so she just kind of
That's fine.
gets the clothes on. Where those have gone off to, who knows? But she looks at you.
Daddy sock drawer.
Daddy's weird.
Yeah, creeper. She says, "So, what all do you know?"
Well, you were taken by Militech. Been gone a couple weeks.
Mhm.
Actually, almost a couple months. Right.
Yeah.
You got pinged.
Mm-hmm. How did you find me?
Huh?
How did you find me?
you got pinged, and who was it? It was not Red Eyes. They're dead.
Blue eyes.
Blue Eyes. I think.
I don't know anybody
Maybe?
named Blue
Yeah, I don't remember
Eyes.
if Zigzag told us how
Oh,
he
did
figured
he
out.
not? Well,
He
Zigzag.
just said that he knew.
Yeah,
So Zigzag got me? Okay, that makes sense.
absolutely.
Um,
So he's got my back.
seeing her up.
Also, you don't have an apartment anymore, but we have a room. It's fine.
Sorry, Icarus, go ahead.
Yeah, seeing her up, Icarus, and that Weaver's being weird net runner, whatever the fuck he's doing. Icarus would kind of wander a little bit closer.
Okay. You see him kind of, or you see Weaver kind of look at you as you're leaving, not terribly curious, and then look back at Sugar and say, "Do you know if anybody's got anything like hard in this place?" Moving back to the conversation with Anika, she says to Crystal, "He killed Grease, didn't he?"
Well, we killed Grease, but yes,
Yeah, he organized it though, didn't he?
absolutely. And not sure what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's a good move on his part, though. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Long story short, me and Grease were under the impression that we were both working on the same side of specific operations regarding, jobs in Night City. I found out he was trying to she kind of looks up and sees Icarus and says, "Holy shit." And she kind of
What?
smiles and walks over to Icarus. "Hey,
You two know each other?
Zigzag hired you. How
did.
did you get to Night City?"
I have my ways.
Good taxi.
Really good
I
taxi.
Ubered a really, really long way.
Like literally a taxi with machine guns and spikes on it.
Mad Max taxi.
She goes, "I'm glad that he was able to get you in on this gig. I'm assuming you helped out, right?"
Yeah. He still has blood all over his face from when he got grazed, and he's got 9 hit points, I think.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's real fucked up. He's yep.
She nods her head. "I know, well, at least I used to know some good doc who might be able to help you out. I really appreciate you coming all this way."
Family.
Wait,
Family.
family?
He looks over at Crystal. Cousin.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
She nods and says, "The Gibsons helped you storm that Militech encampment. It was out here. I mean, I saw flashes of it when we were leaving. Anyways, the point is, good thing Grease is dead. And,
So I don't have to be guilty about that.
long story short, he was doing some pretty fucked up shit.
Great.
Were you
Fuck
able to
that
get a
guy.
hold of any of his records?"
I think we got his. It's right there.
I'll talk to Zigzag about it.
Yeah.
You did great. I'm hoping you're liking my cousin, and hopefully he works well in a firefight. I remember him being pretty stand-up, from what I call.
He's great,
He's
but he needs to learn how to cover a little bit more.
Hey.
I'll teach him. It's fine.
learn for the best, I guess.
We'll work on it.
She kind of, postures herself, kind of slips into kind of full Anika mode, and then when she first takes her first step, she kind of noodle legs, almost falls onto the ground,
Catching.
catches herself on Crystal's exo, and then says, just carry me over there, not carry, just yeah. And you two walk kind of side by side over to Zigzag. She looks up at you, Zigzag, and then kind of
Fan art.
One time.
relinquishes
One
herself
time.
from she stands on her own, kind of faces off with you, Zigzag. You got a smoke?
No, this is the one time I did not bring any fucking smokes.
You kind of pull out the pack that you've been kind of like playing with, and you realize there's like only 2 left. And you kind of pull one out and hand it to her. This, of course, you have extra packs, but this is the one that you're working on, and it's got the 2 left. And you kind of pull that second one out, kind of set it to your lips, light the 2 of them kind of like very close together as you've done several times before. And she kind of leans back. You got him, right? You killed Grease.
And recovered his agent and deaded him.
That's the name.
You got his data term in the one in his basement. The one that Red Eye was using.
Yes, I believe we also may have acquired the red eye as well. Smiles a bit.
She kind of nods. That makes sense. Long story short, a lot of folks in SoCal were being moved across the borders into NorCal by Grease. Surprisingly, I thought his handle was always because he was able to kind of lubricate the deals. But no, truth of the matter is it's because he was a fucking greaseball. He was basically playing coyote and promising people from SoCal, a better life here in Night City. The second they came across, he'd serve them up to scabs. He'd pull all their data, pull all of their information, drain their accounts, and then use their information to give people fake personalities and IDs. It's fucked up. And what I had learned is it was state sanctioned. Militech was moving a lot. A better term. Through the border. I told him I was going to out him. He got a bunch of wraiths to find me. I remember being clocked out, waking up out in the desert. Next thing I know, I can hear the hum of an AV. I'm being loaded into a Militech AV. They're pumping me full of drugs. Everything got real chilly. I'm being pulled out of a cryo bag. She walks over to where the Russian is. You see him kind of look at her. She kind of looks down at him, kind of smiling, and then takes one of the beers from where Calvin put them, walks back over to Zigzag. You see her kind of just flip open the top with her thumb, like it's not even an issue. You would know that Anika has cybernetic hand, not arm, and kind of pops the beer and just starts drinking it. But if you have his term, then that means you have their information. And if you have their information, then that means they can be tracked and maybe made whole, even if they are physically not that anymore. Sounds like work I'm going to be up to for a while. But how the fuck is Militech not going to know that you did this?
I may have gotten my information from the inside this time.
What do you mean?
There was an individual that provided me with your location.
Crystal said something about a guy named Blue Eyes. Who's this gunk?
That is about all I know. He is Militech. He contacted me, gave me accurate information to where you were located in the desert. He
And I just-
offered to extract you as well, but I did not wish to endanger myself more. What he offered to me was free, and I have offered him something free as well. And the hope is he will cover our tracks for both of our benefits. There is no ongoing debt.
Yeah, but fucking Blue Eyes is a horrible handle. Who is this who? You know?
Like a copycat.
That is perhaps something for me to work on, no?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. She kind of scratches her chin. You're pretty sure Militech's not going to be chasing me down or anything? Do we have any assurances that, you know, that's
As
gonna be the
much
case?
as a new contact can be assured, there's no proven trust, so this is all I have to go off of. I would advise you still keep your head low for the next few weeks
Chris-
to months.
Crystal said my apartment's gone.
I have been working out of my office. There's plenty of space for both of you.
Yeah. I was kind of on the lam for about 2 months or so that makes sense.
And if you had warned me ahead of time, perhaps you would not have lost the apartment, but here we are.
No,
Well,
I mean to say, not so much on the lam, but brought down by the rays. I remember counting the suns. It was at least a couple of weeks out there in the Wraith camp before that AV came around.
But
Oh.
you are welcome to stay with me.
This Blue Eyes guy, you said he gave you info, like he's just an info bro or something? Like what? I mean, or did he actually come through with like some hard shit? Like, you're certain he's a part of the corp? Like he's in there. He's like,
I believe he is a member of the Militech, yes.
fucking corpses. Okay. Great.
I did not know his full motivation, but it was perhaps mutually beneficial.
I want to get back to Night City ASAP. Your office is still good?
We do need to make a single stop, maybe two, 3 stops on the way, but Calvin has his truck. We should.
Okay, I gotta go talk to Calvin. She walks over, and as she's walking towards Calvin, you see her kind of wave to Sugar. Yeah, I know you helped. Sorry I didn't reply sooner. And she kind of walks over to Calvin and says, "This camp got any food? I'm thinking I can chunk on the way out, our way back to Night City. I feel like I'm fucking drained." The Russian, who's not too far from this, kind of says, "Yeah, me too. I would like something to eat. We're heading back to Night City." And she's like, looking at Calvin, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And
We just met him, but he's a cool guy. But Anika, anything you need.
you see him kind of throw on the charm, like his face immediately switches to like smile, and he says, "I'm the Russian." And he kind of offers his hand out in like a, you know, kind of gentle handshake, and she kind of takes his hand,
Ugh.
shakes his hand, and he says, "I am apparently still I still have my job. I you know, make quite a bit of eddies a year, so I mean, yeah, sure, the corporation I used to work for doesn't exist anymore, but apparently my job was mitigated to a subsidiary. So, I mean, I could be helpful if you want."
Calvin openly laughs at this turn of face.
She do you mean your corporation? What? And he kind of shakes his head. Your friends informed me that the year is 2046. Last I recall, it was 2025. So they pretty much iced me for quite a while, mademoiselle. Then when I woke up, your friend there, the one you were talking to for a bit, he handed me one of your phones. I made a phone call, found out the Savoy's specific departments that covered the business that I was dealing with had not been liquidated and instead were moved to a subsidiary corporation that I still work for, apparently, even though I've been absent without leave for the better part of 2 decades.
He's got to be important. He no called, no showed for years.
Yeah,
Right.
I want that
Right?
kind of job.
they straight
I
up
need that kind of
Lord.
job security.
kept the gig.
Triggered.
So, I mean, yes, I could probably help you with whatever you're doing as long as you can, get me a ride back to Night City. She nods her
Calvin
head.
taps the Russian on the side and says real quick, like, you don't even know what she's doing yet, brother. As he goes to get the food.
He kind of stops for a second and grabs like a hold of your arm, like not harshly, just kind of like just to stop you. And he kind of looks up at you and he says, "Sometimes, my friend, you can tell all you need to know about a person just based on the way they look at you with their eyes. This one seems to be an honest one. You too."
I'll take that as a plus. What do you want?
Whatever you got. I mean, fuck it, kibble. Shred
That's
the
most of
mash.
what we got.
That's what I'll take. Then you see her say, same. Meanwhile, Weaver is still looking for hard drugs. If you really,
I have lace on me, of
okay,
course.
then he will ask you for some. He says, I don't have the Yetis right now, but I can get them for you.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And then he kind of
And I
goes,
imagine I also instead take the smoke that he was given and change it out for a spliff to let him ride that
oh,
too.
hell yeah. Hell yeah, man.
You've been on ice, my friend. I understand the need that you need.
And you see him just doubling up, and then tosses the lace container when it's expended, and he's just like riding the roach. Like he's just like, ooh, you fucking look familiar though. Where do I know you from?
My face has been around many places.
Yeah, I know. I fucking know you. You get around South Night City at all?
Not as much as I would like, but I've been there before, yes.
Fair enough.
So
Zigzag, if that helps.
Yeah, that name's familiar. I don't remember. You're a fixer, right?
We.
Cool.
So Sugar is normally someone that abstains from drug use because it, except of course, well, okay, I guess I have to read. So she abstains from drug use that's recreational. She'll take stims and drink energy drinks, black lace or synth coke or weed is like a no-no. But now that Weaver is doing it, she's looking at him like, that is so fucking cool. I want to do drugs too.
And
No.
you see
Don't do it.
You see him kind of like
How
still kind of
interesting.
like riding that little bit of the roach. Like he was handed a spliff, like and he is just in the matter of a handful of minutes has brought it down to like nothing. And yeah, he is also taken an entire like air hypo, whatever the device is that shoots the black lace into your face. And he seems to just be as chill as he was a minute ago, if not more chill. He says to Zigzag, "Can you get me back to the city? I don't know where the fuck we're at."
I believe they are taking a quick meal break first, and then we shall travel.
Cool.
No? Are
We
you
could just
hungry or
we could just chunk though, right? Out of character slang, chunk means eat while you're doing something else, like driving home.
So literally what I do every day.
Yeah,
I believe that is an option if
Chunking.
you are in this kind of a rush.
eating on the run.
Do you need to contact anyone? He pulls out another burner phone.
Fuck no.
Or did Sugar make that arrangement already?
I borrowed her deck for a second, but I didn't pry too deep. I'm just looking to get back to the city. I think it's I mean it's chill that you're, handing out phones and all, but probably not safe to do too many calls out here in the ether.
Of course. So then I will see if we can get on the road, no?
Yeah, great. And he kind of finishes the smoke and tosses it aside. Meanwhile, the group as a whole kind of collectively see the Gibsons kind of put the AV underground, and you and your four individuals, or three individuals, kind of get together. You'd see that Brick and Daddy are still kind of talking, and eventually they kind of walk away to the motorcade, and just kind of disappear for a bit. And when they come back out, Brick says nothing, just kind of walks straight up to Zigzag and says, "Hey, Daddy told me you're the one in charge of the whole situation that got us out, me and these other folk, and I really appreciate it. I don't have anything I can repay you with, but Daddy says to let you know that if you're good with the family, you're good with me. Like, we're even." I don't know what he means by that. If you have any problems with that, take it up with him. But I don't have my agent right now. It's in my car. Once I get back to it, I'd like to try and connect with you. He kind of pulls out a small little pad, like a sticky note pad, and a pen, like a ballpoint, big pen. It says,
I am bringing you to your vehicle. I'm happy to put my information in.
"Oh, no. I don't need a lift. I'm good. I'm going to be back in Night City in no time. Daddy's lending me a ride. No problem."
Squeeze, and he'll actually take it, write it down, and hand it back.
He smiles.
That is the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Pulls the one sticky note off and then throws the pad over to one of the Gibsons, who kind of catches it confused. He takes the sticky note and kind of puts it inside of his shirt pocket, smiles at you and says, "Yeah, I'll be around. If you have any questions about anything, it sounded like you're really interested in what was going on. Give me a call. But I've got some shit I need to do." He kind of raises the key like that's what he's talking about, and kind of heads back over to the motorcade. As you're gathering everybody up, you'd see him ride out on an Aldecado motorcycle, which, Calvin, you've seen but never knew whose it was. And he just rides off into the wastes, heading towards Night City. Meanwhile, the group as a whole
Very interesting.
Gets into the truck. With the new people, it is a bit of a... there's going to be a lot of people in the bed of the truck.
Sugar will elbow her way, so that she can sit next to Weaver.
Okay. Weaver wants to sit in the bed of the truck, so you and him are kind of out there on the bed of the truck. Now, as I said, there's 3 seats inside the driver, 3 seats and then 3 seats. The driver, 2 seats up front, and then 3 seats in the back. If you wanted to squish, you could get 5 in the back, but it would be really tight. And if there's lap sitting, maybe 1 or 2 more. And in the back, you could comfortably sit 3, but there are a total of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of you. Anika calls shotgun.
That's fair.
Crystal, do you want to sit up with Anika in the front?
Oh, hell yeah.
So it's you.
Reload.
It's you. Yeah, you definitely want Crystal in the passenger seat, because you got to have your gun. And then so it'll be Anika in the middle, Calvin, and then Crystal on the passenger seat. That leaves 3 to 5 to possibly more in the back seat. Sorry, Brick isn't going with you, so it's less than I said before. Weaver's in the back. The Russian does want to sit inside of the vehicle. He does not want to sit outside of the vehicle.
Icarus will be the gun in the bed of the truck.
Okay, so it's Icarus, Sugar, and Weaver in the bed.
Not leaving those two fuckers alone.
Fair. And then it'll be Striker, Odette, Zigzag, and the Russian in the backseat, kind of a little squish, but not like super cramped. Who's sitting next to the Russian? Just get a window seat.
I think you should put him in the
Striker will
middle.
volunteer to take the middle seat between
Oh,
Odette
the
and the
bitch
Russian.
Okay, so
Wait a
then
minute.
it'll go Zigzag, Odette.
Wait. Striker probably doesn't even need a ride.
You have a bike. You came in.
Yeah,
Oh
get a
shit, I
bike.
do!
Yeah.
Damn!
Actually,
Yeah.
Striker
Yeah.
maybe
How the
would've
hell
left
did
his
you get there
motorcycle at the
late
camp.
if you didn't have your own ride?
Right. Walked.
He took a taxi.
You got that.
I
You got
got
that
an
bike.
Uber.
I still want to
You
play
got your
with.
you got your bike.
I would like to take a taxi to the middle of the desert, please.
You
Uber.
could technically ride with one passenger on your bike if you wanted to. Your call. But if
If
not,
people ask, he'll let them, but he's not offering.
okay. Seating's perfect then. It'll be 3 in the back, 3 in the front, 3 on the bed. For like literally the maximum load on the truck. Perfect. Striker, the guy who rode off on the bike before you, like as you kind of get set up and go, you can see that he's just fucking gone. He's easily doing 200, 250 in an area that's super like fucked up terrain. Like you've been casually doing 80 and like feeling risky doing that. This dude is literally just zoop gone.
Who's this brick guy?
The brick is pretty cool. But yeah, as you're driving, so I guess it would be Zigzag in the middle, Russian on the right, Odette on the left. Does that sound right? Or do you want to put Odette in the middle? Or do you want to put the Russian in the middle? Whatever.
Put
No,
Russian in the middle so we can listen to him complain.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you put him in the middle, he doesn't seem to be annoyed. He just seems to be kind of like, kind of sitting there. Anika's pretty quiet. Weaver is like, the whole time is just kind of like messing with the back of his hair, like fluffing it out with his fingers. And he's also kind of keeps on touching that weird device in the back of his head, but seems pretty quiet. And you can't really talk too much because I'm assuming Calvin's driving as fast as possible, right?
Yeah.
So he's easily doing 80. Kind of keeping
Sugar's trying. She's like, "What is that thing?
up.
What is it?"
And he kind of looks at you, kind of like shaking his head. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you. And every so often you just feel like,
Sugar
no.
can't really hear him, so she's just like, "Oh yeah, awesome."
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
mega fan.
And Icarus is just sitting there, like petting his rifle, just like, this is weird.
The Russian inside says, so have you already been compensated for this gig, Zigzag?
There was no compensation for this gig.
Oh,
This was a personal matter.
okay. Well, if you're not looking for anything, I'm not going to offer anything. Then.
Perhaps just further contact in the future now.
Perfectly fine. More than acceptable. Based on your stature and the fact that everyone seems to be looking to you to answer questions, I'm assuming you are a fixer here in Night City. Is that right? Those still exist? We still got people handing out jobs to punks out on the street, doing ill shit, fucking with corpos. It's all the same. Nothing changes even after 2 decades, huh? Kind of like laughs at Odette. Kind of and like elbows her and goes, "Oh shit! What the fuck are those made out of?" Like starts poking her arm.
You want to find out?
I will say the toys get shinier.
Well, when she says, "Do you want to find out?" He kind of goes, most people would take that as a threat, but I mean, genuinely, I do have an interest as to what the fuck they are. But if it is a threat, then no. But if you're just genuinely offering to show me, yeah, that'd be dope. But it's a threat, right? I mean, your whole vibe is like killer bitch. And I'm just making sure that I'm not upsetting you or anything. I'm sorry I booped into your arm there. I just thought you might appreciate a good joke, But I guess not. The mask has got the smile and,
No,
So-
you're
I'm
not
sorry.
wrong. She used to be killer badass. I think the last few surgeries have turned to killer bitch.
Yeah.
Kelvin, I want to say canonically, Kelvin didn't realize until right now, and now all the dots have connected.
It has the weird arms that made her meaner. He kind
Like
of
he was just like, man, she's kind of quiet right now, kind of just stern and straight.
more than fair. He looks back to Zigzag and says, "So basically, from what I understand, the situation with the corporation that I'm associated with is not going over too well in the states. Specifically, our holdings in Night City were purchased out quite a while ago. Some fucked up shit, to be sure. And it sounds like there was, some aftermath. That whole thing that happened a couple years before they put me under, with the explosion downtown. It's pretty fucked up still, yeah.
Still has not been resolved, though.
That's fair. Nuclear fallout is hard to fucking clean up, I suppose. I mean, I should know, you know. I lived not too far away from Chernobyl when I was a young kid. Anyway.
There's many years left of that one.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't really give a fuck. I'm not going back. I'm glad they're still paying me money to stay out here because I think it's important shit that I'm doing, but whatever. The main thing that I'm focused on is, do you have any documentation regarding my situation that you've relieved me from? Any documents, any hard evidence that proves that Militech fucked up by fucking with me?
We should still be able to access that on the shelf, no? And he turns to Sugar. And he looks to Sugar out in the bed.
But
Sorry.
Can't talk to her because she's out on the bed.
No, I know. He just says
Oh,
that and
okay.
then like looks to her through like that little tiny window in the back of the truck. Like we should still have access to that.
Sugar's
those
like,
files.
what is that thing? Tell me about it.
He says, "Oh, the little girl, huh? She's a net runner, huh?
We.
That's interesting. A lot of young people didn't like the net running when I was, around. They weren't big fans of it. A lot of fucked up shit happening on the net. I'm assuming it's a lot worse now, but that's fine. Or maybe they cleaned it up. Who knows? I mean, maybe everything's fucking rainbows and posies. Doubtful. It's Night City, am I right? It's probably.
Then it
Wait.
is still the net.
What's that?
And the net is the net.
Yeah. That sounds about right then. Fuck. But yeah, if I can get this information, I will pay you handsomely for it, and then I will use it to fuck them.
Hey.
That I will take payment for, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. He kind of looks out the window, and you can see that he can see the city line as you pass through kind of the Red Rock area, and he kind of looks at it and goes, "Looks the fucking same." Missing a couple buildings here and there, but it looks the fucking same.
There's a few new ones too.
Probably a lot of dead friends in there, though, yeah.
There's always new ones to be made as well, no?
I like you. I like you a lot. She's pretty fucking cool, too. I mean, I just want to make sure you understand. He leans over to Odette again.
There's a reason why she's in the car with us.
I know you typically don't call a lady a bitch right off the bat, but I mean, you're pretty hardcore. I mean, your arms are made of fucking metal, and the vibe you're kind of like going with here, it's very scary. I just want to make sure you know that.
Oh, well, thank you. And before I meant, when you wanted to find out, I meant that I am actually very skilled in vivisection, so you don't have to worry about dying.
Vivisections. Why did my brain immediately go to vasectomy? I don't know. It's two different things, right?
I can do that too.
Oh, okay. So it is different, but you would do it. Okay, nope. It was nice talking to you. Looks back over, kind of like does one of these shifts over to closer to Zigzag, and says something in Russian.
His knee up on Odette's side.
Yep. Very.
She's just kind of like looking, like examining him, like just.
Yeah. He is. He's got a lot of cybernetics, but a lot of it is very outdated stuff. Like, it looks like he has a cyber hand. It looks like it is removable. It looks like he has an old neural wire processor. Looks like he has cyber audio, which is very clearly noticeable, whereas most cyber audio of the day is very kind of streamlined into the ear canal and ear system. You can clearly tell there's cybernetics there. He doesn't have the normal kind of EMP shielding that's very stylish in the 2046 era. He looks very kind of just plain, but there's a lot of segments of his skin that you can tell are just plasticized over, where it's kind of hiding the cybernetics inside. And his eyes do look like they're pretty high dollar, eyes, but they're older, so they're very. The best way to kind of describe them would be faux organic. Like if you were to look at just his eyes, it's kind of like that uncanny valley kind of area where it's like it looks like they're supposed to be human like, but they're definitely not. Whatever he has, he probably has a Times Square marquee, which is a hilarious joke in your mind, because a Times Square marquee is basically what eventually became the Chiron, which is like a system inside of your eyes to give you like heads up display. But old timey Times Square marquee was like, it's really fucked up. It's like that they had advertisements that could pop up in your shit.
Oh,
like,
jeez.
Oh, it's a hot mess and it's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, you could see your stock roll out, like lots of stuff like that, like just sitting there in your own. You can see your cash account. Like the second he gets connected to the net again, like he's probably going to be like, okay, I'm reconnected, but I'm definitely an old bunker. But yeah, you drive into Night City, and yeah, he does look like he's kind of like relieved, but it definitely does look to him like he's seen it all before. Weaver just is kind of like taking it all in outside. Every so often hearing Sugar kind of yelling at him, not really doing anything about it. And Anika seems to be kind of like staring at the window. Not out the window. She's staring at the window. If you know what I'm saying. But Calvin, where do you take it? The office?
I'm driving.
To the office?
Zigzag's office?
Mm-hmm. Where are you gonna go?
I was heading back to the hospital to make sure everyone was okay. I kind of just assumed that. I didn't ask Odette about that at all.
Oh, so the guy that she was working on died.
Yeah, but like
but
everyone
I
else
don't
still
think
just
Odette
woke up out of cryo
would come
sleep.
back to my office with me, so we would drop her and whatever body parts she had bagged up back into those bags off
Deal.
first.
Okay.
Deal.
So
Then
yeah,
Calvin
you'd
is
probably
heading
drop
for
her
the
off at
office.
Tark's clinic, so
Right.
she can kind of sell those pieces and then kind of move on from there. And then Stryker, when you enter into the city, you'd probably be in front of them, but you might have gone your own different way. Is there anywhere in particular you're wanting to go once you hit Night City?
Probably swing by home just real quick. Make sure everything's okay.
Yep.
If nothing's wrong, did we have a meeting location planned?
Zigzag's office.
Okay, then I'll pop over. Then I will just head on over to Zigzag's.
Okay, quick stop, and yeah, she's doing okay. It sounds like the babysitter is doing okay. You'd hired one, trustworthy individual, and said that she did receive a call on the landline from Anna. You're surprised that she didn't call you directly on your agent, but apparently there was a call on the landline from Anna.
What was it about?
She said, no, she didn't really say anything. She just said, hey, is Stryker there? And I was like, no, he's not here. It's just me. And I didn't know, who she was, but when I said her name out loud, she, Denise, whose name I always forget, she said that Anna's cool. So I said, you're out of the city and you'll be back a little later. Is that okay?
I'll get a hold of her.
Cool. And you head out, telling her you'll be back. Job's still a job, and she's fine with that. And then you head back. Okay, Odette, you drop off some body parts and stuff, making a decent amount of pretty poly. Are you wanting to sell the case that the external, basically the thing that you'd put, nervous system and body in, or are you wanting to keep that for yourself?
How hard is it actually to utilize?
It's expensive. It's going to be very expensive to utilize, but getting a new one's going to be harder still.
Do I don't know if I really see any immediate use for it, so maybe the money is probably better.
Okay. If you go to Tark, he says he can't move the cybernetics, but he can move the body parts. He tells you for what you've got, if you want to leave them with him, he'll pay you 9,000 eddies for the meat that you brought. And if you want to just leave the cybernetics with him, once he gets offers on them, he will basically put the money for it to you. As far as the body parts go, he's buying those for himself. As far as the cybernetics go, he's going to see if he can't get any connections and sell them. He says if you have a fixer that you want to do that through, it'd probably be better. But he says if you want him to do it, he's going to ask for 20% of whatever he makes on the deal.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to keep the cybernetics and take them to a fixer, Anika, Zigzag, or whoever, then you can do that too. That's perfectly fine. But if you're just selling the bodies,
I'll sell the bodies. I'll keep the cybernetics because I think Zigzag or somebody.
Tark seems totally cool with that and starts getting to work categorizing the pieces you've left with him. He does say that you're going to have to keep Grisha, because if he were to remove the things that are in there, it might damage the cybernetics. It's better to just leave it until you have someone you're going to replace it with, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Then do you head back to Zigzag after?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Take a cab, head on that way. Icarus, Zigzag, Crystal, Calvin, Sugar. You arrive back at the office with your recently frozen individuals and start heading in. Weaver kind of stops once you kind of get out of the car and kind of start doing your thing, and kind of looks over at Zigzag and says, "We straight? Or do I need to come in there with you for anything?"
No. But if you don't mind, a contact, if you will, and he will hand him like a card that has my contact info. Reach out to me, and I would like to speak. You'll be able to find me.
I typically don't give my info out.
No, that's why I have given you this.
Yeah, that's fine.
You'll be able to find me.
He kind of starts looking at the contact info, kind of looking at you, and says, "Okay. If you want me in your roster, like I'm assuming that's what this is, I'm gonna need 10,000 eddies up front." He looks over at Sugar and says, "She'll tell you I'm good for it."
No. I can do that, but I do not have your banking info. I could do it right now if you like.
No. It's fine. Hey, Sugar, can I borrow your deck again? kind of takes it and says, "Go ahead and plug it to her account."
You see him like kind of look up in the eye. Should be set.
Slams the cyber deck into his neck again. "You really gotta change that password. I told you that you needed to change it. You didn't even change it." You see his eyes still burning red, and he kind of takes a second. "I'm not going deep. Don't worry about it." All right, cool. Pulls the deck and slides it over to Sugar. You kind of look at your deck real quick, and you can see that the recent transaction history in your account shows that the eddies that were just discussed were sent into your account and then were withdrawn. It looks like they were physically withdrawn and put onto a cred chip account. Or not, sorry, not a cred chip account, a cred card, which is normally a physical plastic item that like technically holds data, but apparently he has some method of making those in his brain space. He then looks over at Zigzag and says, "Great, I gotta go buy a deck. Once I've got that, I'll give you a call." And then
Unexpected.
kind of walks over towards the edge of the street, and you can see him hailing a taxi. Russian kind of nods. "I don't have much else to do, but it looks like you have a nice place here, so fuck it, I'll come up with you if you are looking for company."
If Anika doesn't object, yeah, he gestures towards the door.
He seems
Come in.
harmless.
There are drinks.
He seems harmless, she says, and
Yeah.
kind of walk in. During the car ride, Crystal, at some point, Anika asked you everything out of my apartment, right? You got it into Zigzags? You're muted.
Yes. So she'd also like briefly explained that she basically put like the room that's Anika's room is basically as close to the layout as her office as she could get.
Hmm.
Except there's some of Crystal's stuff in there.
She nods.
Right. The couch from the living room is now in the bedroom in the corner.
Yeah. Like
The-
as close as she could get, but it's a little cramped. And then there's like gun cases laying around.
The pink suitcase. You know, the little one?
Yes.
Good. Okay, great. She nods her head. And then you arrive. She heads into the office and kind of moves into the place, looks kind of around, and if you direct her to that room, she'll go inside, go to the pink suitcase, pop it open, pull out an agent, which is the same make and model as the one she had in the past. And you see her kind of do something with it, and then kind of smile and kind of put that in her pocket. Meanwhile, the Russian kind of moves into the office, kind of looking around, complimenting the space, and then sits at whatever table, kind of meeting setup place is kind of present there. Yeah.
As he like pulls out a chair to go to sit, I imagine Zigzag goes and and gestures to a liquor cabinet on the wall.
"You are a man of class, Zigzag." He walks over and starts looking over the liquors. "Oh shit, you got some stuff from my time."
I like to keep a wide range of options. No.
This is gonna be a very fruitful partnership, I think. He kind of pulls a bottle down, looks at the crystal glasses that are kind of sitting next to the cabinet, and pours himself a glass, putting the bottle back up. "Was that AV up on the roof yours?"
That it is. That it is. You like?
This is very, very fruitful, I think, yes. Walks back over to the chair and sits down. Nika comes out, like holding a phone for a second, and then kind of putting it back into her pocket. Okay, Zigzag, let's get down to it. Serious business. I need to be sure. I need to be sure. You have killed Grease. You've secured his information. You've secured his turn. You've secured his agent. Right?
Oui.
Great. Sugar, how confident are you hard hacking someone's bank accounts on the scene.
If it can be hacked, I can probably hack it.
Give her the phone. She says to Zigzag.
He goes, I imagine it's like in a drawer in the office, and grabs it there, brings it out.
As soon as they had arrived, Sugar had already plugged in and was already re-encrypting her password. She's ready to go.
So the problem is that he banks in Pacifica. Pacifica Bank, located in Pacifica. If you're not terribly familiar with the area, it's not the greatest place. I definitely need you to get to that bank, connect with the ATM, and pull everything he has to an unmarked account, then transfer that out to your group as Zigzag sees fit. With the exception of the amount he pulled from me. I don't want to drop more than what was taken from me.
Wait, we were getting paid?
Oh yeah, honey. I always pay my people. But the thing is this is a job. This isn't a situation where you're just going to walk up to a bank and be able to pull. Sugar, are you familiar with Pacifica?
Yeah, I'm familiar enough to stay the fuck out of it.
Sorry, honey. You're going to have to get in there.
Oh, good.
Luckily,
gravy.
you've got plenty of guns. And that should be helpful. Or you can just fly in there if you're willing to risk it. It's not a nice neighborhood, to be sure. The Russian kind of looks up and says, I thought they were putting up a stadium over there, last I checked. Is it already gone to shit in 2 decades, huh? It's pretty fucked up. He nods. Yeah, most things in Night City, I suppose.
Things don't normally last.
Striker and Odette would arrive about nowish, catching back up with everybody, getting in. It's a pretty crowded room, but she basically lays out the details. Very simple. There is a bank in Pacifica, and she wants you to get to the automatic teller machine at that bank and basically hack his account and withdraw all funds therein. And then get out. It's that easy.
Doing a good old-fashioned bank robbery.
It's not a bank robbery.
Doing a
We're getting
good
what we're
old-fashioned
owed.
ATM stealing.
Oh, I'm Raven again.
Do y'all remember that last
Striker's just like,
heist we did?
seems simple enough.
Should be.
We've done less legal things before.
Should be. But
Sugar flips up her goggles. She looks fucking psyched. She is so excited to rob a motherfucking bank. She
So
says
we
it,
need
I
to
am
get
so
you more
excited to rob a
energy
motherfucking
drinks?
bank.
so
We're gonna need a 6-pack.
Only 6?
I just want to make sure you
just for me.
understand.
Oh, okay. That's your order. Gotcha.
I don't know if you folks are very familiar with stuff that happens in South Night City, but I'm pretty sure, Sugar, you're aware of the Voodoo Boys.
Yeah.
You see the Russian go, oh, that's what they fucking went? But Pacific? She nods her head, kind of looks over to Sugar. Yeah, they're a pretty mean gang. One of the meanest. They've only started reorganizing as of late, but yeah, they
Out
are.
of character, I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know that like in Cyberpunk, in the future, the Voodoo Boys have like a net running operation.
Same.
So do I know? Would I know that?
No, because they are
Okay.
very much their own entity, and they deal with the net, not net architectures, not data streams, not stuff that happens in the city. Basically, you're playing at very modern stuff, and you're really good at it. Like, they are fucking with ice bath, like drop into the net, like crazy shit
Got
that
it.
you've got some ideas about, and might have played with once or twice, but you know that they run it. Like, they are literally quite possibly like the best at what they do.
So Sugar is aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, once I got to the two zigzags and like got caught up on what the situation is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, once I got caught up on everything, I would take out my phone or agent and text Anna just saying, "What's up?"
Phone starts to ring shortly after.
Oh boy. I step into the other room and answer it.
This is a secure line on my end. Good on yours?
It would be, right?
You're in a location that it would be.
Yeah, we're good.
Got a really interesting visit from a fellow employee of mine today.
Who?
A gentleman named Jonathan. He's upper management. Jonathan Mercer. He said that you might be interested to know that the individuals who had secured the chip that helped your party of interest would like to know that the chip is being sought after. I know it's no longer usable. Of course, I know I was the one who implemented it. But it would seem that there are Arasaka operatives who are seeking out the recipient of what the chip did and the remnants of the chip.
Fuck.
He also said that you might know him, and if you'd ask your friends about him, maybe ask about an individual named Blue Eyes.
Blue Eyes, you say?
What the fuck's he talking about? Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I may have ran into a guy named Blue Eyes, in a sense.
Well, keep your ears open, and if you figure out anything, get to a secure line, shoot me another text. I'll give you a call right back. In the meantime, I'm going to keep my distance.
I'll see what I can figure out.
Just make sure she knows I'm not avoiding the apartment because of anything that she did. Okay?
I'll let her know.
Okay. And one last thing. We're getting mixed up in some pretty fucked up shit if someone in upper management's coming down to me to talk to me about stuff like this. So I just want to let you know if something does happen to me. Never really had a way of expressing it, but I just want to make sure you're aware of it. I really like you. And I really like your niece as well. And there aren't a lot of good people in Night City. And I just want to make sure you understand that I didn't stick around for this long and risk my job just because I was doing something selfish or anything. I did it because I like you and I like your niece. Okay. Take that however you want. I gotta go. And she hangs up immediately.
Well then.
That's happening outside. While that's happening outside, the Russian says, I might be able to help with this matter, but I'm sure that you're already planning in your head how this is going to go down. Am I right, Zigzag?
I've come up with more than one idea, but please share.
Well, I could perhaps send someone. Well, I could perhaps. You see him kind of thinking for a bit. He kind of stops for a second. I don't know. I'll need some more time to think myself. I know I can be helpful. I'm just not sure exactly how. I also don't know the area. It was pretty much just fucking sand when I was around, so I'm gonna need some time for that.
Of course. That is understandable. Are you good with a gun?
I can use one, yeah. Do you have a City Hunter? Nova Arm City Hunter?
Looks to Anika.
It's a bit of an older gun, but I think I could probably muster one up. The 454? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
You want to borrow one of mine?
Well, what do you got?
I can show you.
You know, I've been I'll try to save my swell for later. Yeah, show me what you got.
he thought of that. He was going to go for it.
Bro, shoot your shot. Go for it.
You know, I don't know the expression too well, but I get the meaning. So yeah, sure.
I'm kind of a gun guy myself.
I'm kind
She
of a
would
gun
take
guy
him to
myself.
Anika's. She would take him to Anika's room though and just open the cases.
Hmm.
They're all pink.
Yeah, I noticed that. Not to cramp your style or anything. Is that still a term? I don't know. Fucking hipsters. They look nice, but no, I definitely like the Nova Arm City Hunter. If you can get me one of those, that would be good.
We'll find you one.
You see him kind of reach down and pull out the Militech Avenger pistol, kind of look at it. I'll fuck with this for a little while. Kind of puts it into his belt loop. And then realizes he's still wearing kind of like the shoddy clothes.
We'll get you a holster, buddy.
Well, sure, that's fine, I guess. You, the driver. Calvin, right? Calvin.
Yeah, that's me. That's
Sorry,
me.
I'm shit with names. Especially when they're real names and not handles. It's fucking weird you don't have a handle.
Do you just call Daddy Daddy? Or
Who?
no, that wouldn't be Daddy. Never mind. It would be. Oh no, he's just a fan of that gang, so he doesn't know anything about it. Never mind.
He says, okay. So can you maybe drive me to somewhere nice that sells good clothes?
Sells good clothes?
Yeah.
I would need help finding that myself.
Ooh,
you see him
that
immediately.
is, this guy like gets up. He's like finishes whatever was in the drink that they had poured, and like gets up. This is please come.
He turns to Crystal and says, "I'm no, it's fine.
He is smitten.
He is not smitten. He just seems to be kind of looking to her because she has the vibe of a party girl, and he has the vibe of like a tracksuit guy who wants to party.
Oh,
So there's very
Can
much
hook him up.
there's very much a an understanding. Like, if there's a good place to hang out in what to him is New Night City, she probably knows where it is.
Oh yeah, she can hook him up. Good place to hang. Some
Right.
cute girls. His
Yeah.
type.
Grandpa.
Well, he did say at the beginning of this, just to make sure we're clear here,
Yeah.
he did say he was in a relationship with the
Right.
leader of the...
Guys.
Yeah, he is not...
Some cute guys.
Just to
But
make
he did also immediately flirt with Anika, so I was just like, hey, this man just likes to have a good
He
time.
might go both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
She
true.
can,
I just thought
she
he
can
really
give him
enjoyed
a
good time.
variety. She
I wasn't
swings
judging.
both ways too.
I just want
A
to make
variety.
sure we
A
understand.
bouquet.
That
Like,
he also enjoys the company of a good guy.
He
or
gay.
he
He
just
gay.
uses
It's fine. Yeah.
sex as a means, or flirtation as a way of getting what he wants.
That's fine.
Like, it could just be that.
Or he gay.
Could be gay. Could be very, very, very... He is very gay. But anyways, moving
That's
right
for
why
along.
he's
him.
trying to have me drive him. I get it. I get it.
He
Oh yeah.
Oh, he just wants to flirt with
he
Calvin.
doesn't seem to be interested in Calvin.
Why not?
Because
I can't
Calvin's not
believe
wearing
it.
his suit. Calvin's wearing his nomad outfit, and it's just not the trip
Oh,
Should have taken the AV.
that
the
he's interested in.
drip.
He says to Zigzag, of course, we can go. You know a good place. I'm looking for something a bit more kind of gestures at what Zigzag's wearing. Like this, but maybe darker colors. Let's see what we can find, huh?
Oh, of course. You driving, Calvin? He presses
driving.
the elevator to go up to the roof.
Long term, this is helpful for me too. I'm definitely driving.
Okay, great. Anika says, is this terribly important?
No, we're not leaving now.
Well, I was just trying to plan a gig, is all.
It's okay. The boys, they all they care about is clothes and cool hats. I like you, Anika. You know what's important.
The
Is
job.
I'm
The
pretty
job.
sure that Icarus is
Get the
literally just
job
in
in
the
the
corner
legs.
somewhere napping.
Oh, buddy.
Like he's
Crystal
wrecked.
Crystal notices and just like puts a blanket over him.
You know what? I get that. Like
The
you
mom.
be on edge for
No,
a long
not
time
mom.
and then get that relief. You just
Yeah, you're out.
No,
Yeah.
Crystal is like the cool mom, the party mom.
Is she though?
She
Yep,
says,
she just put a blanket on him.
well, if you want to go
She put him
shopping,
like
maybe
That's
we can
mom.
try
Girl.
and go and do this extraction right now. The sooner this is done, the better. I don't have liquid to move anything or do anything. I need my capital, or I can't do shit. I mean, I've got what I've got. I just know what he did, and fuck Red Eye, and fuck him, and they're both zeroed anyway, so who gives a fuck? But now I need to write what they did. They fucked me, and I don't like it. So, if you want to go buy clothes, that's fine. Some of you stay with me and help me plan this.
I got you.
Thanks, Crystal. And she kind of reaches across the table and like holds your hand.
Oh.
You can see that she's very emotionally stressed.
Yeah.
The Russian
We're
says,
here for the support.
I am sorry. Of course, your situation is very desperate and dire. It does sound like a lot of your problems are currently, yes. But you did help me out here. That's fine. If you don't mind, I'm going to make a phone call right here, and I'll see if I can't help you with your problem. And he makes a phone call and starts talking in Russian. Somewhere like, and it's absolutely annoying enough that nobody really can do anything besides like focus on him having this phone call. And he kind of stops about midway through and says, "Okay, Anika, what is your routing number and account number for your bank?" And she kind of looks at him like, "What?" Yeah, your routing number and account number. If you got like a check, it'll be at the bottom. Oh, you probably... Everything is all super fancy now. Probably don't even have paper checks anymore, right? No? She kind of
What
shakes
is
her head
that?
and says, "Here," and like shows the agent, and he kind of goes, "Okay," and then starts speaking in Russian. It sounds like he's saying numbers, and then he smiles, and then he sounds like really happy about it, and then the conversation ends. "You should be okay now, for at least a little bit. If that'll tide you over for just a little while, you can pay me back. That's fine once you get your liquid." And you can see her face as she's looking at her account on her phone, kind of like eyes widen, and she's like confused. And he says, "If that'll tide you over for a little while, Zigzag and I, and Galvin, driving of course, are going to go buy some clothes because your problem does sound horrible. Yes, you know her, right, Zigzag? So she's from this era, right? She wasn't frozen for 2 fucking decades and forced to watch as her company was basically dissolved, and the Soviet Union is likewise. I'm having a fucking shitty day and I want a nice crisp suit, okay? That's
Get
all I'm
your
asking
suit.
for.
It'll be fine.
Okay, let's go." And he walks away.
I imagine as he says that, he's like, ding! And the elevator just opens.
Perfection.
The timing.
He
Sugar looks on with disapproval,
he
like this.
leaves with Calvin and Zigzag, and you see Anika kind of like hold her phone over to Crystal, and you can see that he just somehow magically wired 500,000 eddies, which is a
Oh,
lot to her, and he did it flippantly like it wasn't a big deal.
And he was able to call whoever he called and like deal with the whole fact of like, where have you been for 20 years?
With
Yeah.
like
And
yeah.
Crystal's already like, okay, we're gonna go party with him.
I meant
and we
50,000,
know-
not 500,000. Sorry.
Oh, well, still, that's
Still
still a
50
fuck
is-
ton to just drop because that's about a. I mean, granted, she's got that,
Yeah.
but like that's a lot to just like drop casually.
Right.
But she's still like, okay, we're gonna go fucking party with this dude. If
She-
he's dropping 50K,
Right, in liquid assets. Like
yeah,
that.
like
Just
Her attitude changes very quickly after he leaves, and she definitely seems to be less kind of focused on the job and less concerned about it. But yeah, sitting there with him, or with her rather, do you have any questions for Anika? Anything that you want to address with Anika, or any ideas about the gig as it stands? It seems that the bank in question in Pacifica is kind of located out and around near where the interstate kind of ends in that area. The problem with Pacifica is it is not exactly finished, but at the same time, it's not exactly ever going to be finished. And the reason why is because they had planned a lot of cool things in Pacifica, but they never came to fruition. A lot of violence very quickly kind of entered in, but there is a working resort that is heavily protected by Militech security contractors and kind of functions as like a really cool place to go. But it's a little ways away from where we're looking at here. It's kind of like here. Hold on, not pinging it right. It's kind of like here, whereas the bank is kind of in like the slummy area.
okay.
So
we need to get into the bank and dissolve these assets
I have some questions.
into ours.
I was like, we can dissolve a bank. That'll dissolve the assets. But if we want to keep the money,
Well, we do.
We want that money. So I guess one of my questions is, do the Voodoo Boys have any association with the bank? Could they be running security for it?
yeah, it's possible. Pacifica Bank is very much a city-based operation. It's not connected to any larger kind of NorCal banks. So it's very much a kind of private firm. And you would understand that Greece probably was utilizing it because he had some connections with netrunners due in part to Red Eye.
Okay. Fuck.
Also, it sounds like from, I don't know if the information that kind of Anika brought forward to Zigzag is, well, Anika's there, she's making it known, but the information that she made known to Zigzag would be known to you. Apparently, Greece was involved in trafficking people from Southern California who were down on their luck into the city and selling them to scavs, taking their information, clearing their charge accounts, and basically using their IDs and selling them to people who needed new IDs in Night City. A lot of that would only be possible through the use of good old-fashioned interfacing with this kind of material and changing it. So Red Eye could not have been the only Netrunner on staff doing a lot of this work.
I mean, we did kill some of them, right? Or no, he killed some of them.
Netrunners, yeah.
Yeah.
None of them appeared to have been. It would have been something I would have mentioned at the time, but none of them seemed to have been members of the Voodoo Boys.
Okay. Is there any way for Sugar to like phone a friend or something and like kind of ask for like a quick, because this is like serious biz, this is kind of something new, like to ask for any tips about what to expect? I was hoping to pick Weaver's brain, but he's a fucking dick.
He's a bit big for his britches, yeah.
What do you think? Would Sugar think that maybe Quinta might know something or might have a tip of some sort?
I mean, if you text her, she'll basically reply back. So what she knows about Voodoo Boys is they do have a number of areas in Pacifica that they kind of maintain. But Pacifica as a whole it's not exactly identical to what you know from 2077.
Yeah.
A lot of that kind of northern end of it and kind of like coastal area is fine and is maintained well in security aspects by Militech Security and other private firms such as Danger Girl and the like. NCPD is very active in Pacifica, and a lot of people who come to Night City on vacation will enter into the area of Pacifica, mainly because of the Playland by the Sea amusement park. It's well protected, and a lot of the resorts there are still functional. But kind of like this road here, south to there, and then like this area kind of here and here are pretty well viced. It's where if you're going to desire drugs or anything like that while you're on vacation, you'll end up, but it's also possible that you end up, robbed or maybe something worse. So there's a lot of Voodoo Boy activity there in that area. And that bank, the Pacifica Bank, is a very well-known establishment that is kind of settled in with the Voodoo Boys. So basically, I mean, it looks like this, but nicer. And then just behind those larger buildings is slums.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the hood. Okay. I mean, I just have my little, I have a good quality, this is kind of to Anika, I have a good quality cyber deck. I just don't know if there's going to be anything in there that will surprise me. But I'll try to be quick and think on my feet if anything does happen that's unexpected.
Okay. Meanwhile, Odette, Stryker, Crystal, Icarus, if there's any plans or thoughts that you might have for kind of moving into this area, because the thing is not only will you have to deal with gangers, If it gets too loud, you'll have to deal with NCPD. And if it gets too loud, you'll have to deal with Militech private security.
Yeah,
Possibly
we don't want
Danger Girl
any
private
of
security,
that.
depending on where you're at. So the key here is kind of like,
Stealth.
Be
how do you
cool.
want to do this? I mean, the best way to kind of understand where you're going to, it is right off of the strip. You're entering into a very small kind of parking lot with a building next to it. If you've ever been to like a Chase Bank, it's like an old brick building kind of sitting in the shadow of all of these other larger buildings.
Mhm.
You know, it's got the Pacifica logo on it. It's got a drive-up ATM section. It's also got that little section on the side of the building that has the little thingies. I forget what they're called. My brain's dumb. But it also has like a lot of security of its own.
Like the Dropbox.
Pneumatic tubes.
Oh,
Pneumatic tubes.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it also has, like, you know, in that overhang, like that's like where the pneumatic tubes are. There are also PDUs that can drop down and like just obliterate a car if need be.
Right. Hmm.
Do I need to be inside of the building to connect?
You'll need to be close enough to that ATM for your virtuality to kind of connect with it. Yeah.
And the ATM is outside.
There is an ATM outside. There is an ATM on the side of the building. There's the one that's at the drive up, and then there's also one inside. Because the inside, they don't have like real people working in the bank. It's literally like kind of robotic, automatic teller that will go through the
Right.
process of talking to you,
Hmm.
but it's literally doing exactly the same function that the keypads outside do.
Okay.
Ooh. Maybe this is a dumb idea. The Russian probably needs a new bank,
Hmm.
and he's not really familiar with the technology. It
We
would
go
take him a
set
while,
an account
right?
in. Have him
Yeah.
set up an account, ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah. Or have someone like pretend.
To be his granddaughter?
I mean, you could be his granddaughter.
Does he look old enough to have a granddaughter?
He doesn't look very old.
Well, he's been cryoed,
I
right?
wanted to call him Grandpa.
Yeah, his age currently
You can still call him
is.
Grandpa.
He's still Gramps.
Damn. Okay, ladies.
Grandpa.
He was probably 37 when he went into the ice. So that was in 2025, which means he was born before the turn of the millennia. So he is older than everyone in his group.
Yeah.
So if he has identification or like an identification somewhere in the system,
Mhm.
the systems, it'll show him to be like quite elderly.
Correct.
There's technology that can make you look super young, right?
So there's gotta be.
Technology to make you look super young. No, I mean, yeah, there's ways to make yourself look younger than you are. Like, think about it from
Aren't there those face things
Well, no.
that make?
I know what she's asking. Look at it from a
Okay.
2077 perspective. Rogue's like 80, and she still looks pretty good. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
So yeah, there's a
true,
lot of
enhanced.
body sculpting that makes you look a lot younger than you are.
Hmm. So, I mean, I'm just helping Grandpa to start a bank account.
Yeah, and then you hack in while you're going with it.
Oh
if
my
we
god.
can convince.
I feel like this
He was-
guy though doesn't actually even need a bank account because it sounds
I mean,
like his
he
stuff's all
doesn't,
good.
but
Yeah,
You're calling him
We're-
grandpa and he's younger than me. Well,
The-
if I were in 2046, he would be younger than me.
yeah.
Well, no, but because of his real age.
Right.
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 And he doesn't know how to use a touchscreen. I
He's-
mean, what kind of grandpa shit is that?
He's
Yeah.
technically 58 years old.
Oh, he's not that
I was
old.
like,
He could
Dad.
still
at
be a
all.
grandpa though. My grandpa or my dad has been a grandpa since he was in his 40s. So
Fair.
I feel like a grandparent, and I'm in my 30s.
I have a sister, by
Um,
the way.
so
I'm my
that's
own
16 older.
grandpa.
Yeah,
That's
you're
my own
grandpa.
I'm my own grandpa.
So that's an option. I think that is like a really great idea.
Okay. While you're thinking
But-
about that, I'm going to cut to
Okay.
Zigzag, Calvin, and who else went?
That's it.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just us two
and him, the
Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
You fly in the AV. He samples the wine selection present in the AV and is satisfied. You arrive at a fancy clothing distributor located in the heart of downtown, well, new downtown, the city center, and park in a specific place where AVs are allowed to park, and kind of head on over to the establishment. You enter into it. Zigzag dressed the part, Calvin not so much, and the Russian definitely not.
Calvin definitely dressed up like Calvin.
You do see that the private security here is Danger Girl. It does look like they're kind of on edge the second you kind of enter in and are kind of giving you the full scan. You're very aware of that, Zigzag. But you're not worried. It's no big deal. And the person behind the counter says, excuse me, may I help you?
Oh, pardon. Is Emmanuel here today?
Oh, I apologize. Emmanuel is actually out on vacation this whole week.
That is so unfortunate.
Oh,
my
you
dear.
must be Zigzag. Is that right?
Me. He has spoken of me.
He has. Great. So
I apologize. It was a special case. This is a friend who has been caught in an unfortunate situation, as you can see,
You-
and we are trying to help him out.
you can call
today.
me the
No.
Russian. And if you could, I would like to sample your best. And he, unlike me, is very well aware of like explaining fancy suits. I am not. But he basically goes through the whole detail, giving his measurements, giving everything, and they kind of go through the process of getting him suited and armored. They put a light armor jack weaved into his suit, similar to what they do with Zigzags, and he gets a perfectly crisp black, like Armani style suit with black undershirt, black tie, and a pair of mirror shades, and feels absolutely wonderful. Somewhere in the process, he took a shower in their back room, and when he comes back out, he's just very much different looking. Like, oh yeah, guy out of a bag, dripping wet, thrown into some really fundamental clothes, and now looking like he owns this place. He pays. Apparently, he does so through a phone call wire transaction, and is absolutely happy with the situation. And says to you, Zigzag, I do not currently have a place to stay. It doesn't look like you have much of an offering in your location, so I will find a hotel. That should not prove to be an issue.
There is two different recommendations I could make depending on how far you'd like to be and I suppose what amenities you are looking for. If you need like a gym or something, access
That
to
would
different.
be very helpful, yes.
Of course. There's obviously a very nice place a little bit further uptown, but there's a wonderful place that has this nice amenities if you stay further south, no?
I know I have to do a bit more shopping, and I do appreciate you bringing me out this way, but I did see a couple of shops on our way down to the landing spot that I do want to frequent before I kind of get around to organizing a place to stay.
I'm sure you have noticed that my agent's contact is in this phone that I've given you.
I have noticed this, and I will make sure to keep my phone line on. If that's still a term that's used. If you are to call me and need any assistance, I do believe that I owe you a bit. I believe we are kind of tethered at the hip due to my generosity with your associate, Anika. So I will be sure to keep a close ear to your situation to make sure that my investment has a decent return upon it. That said, I do need to get a different phone. I will transfer your
Okay.
contact over to it, of course. And some other things I would like to be getting. It was a pleasure, Zigzag. He offers his hand to shake.
I accept.
In a very
Hardly.
surprising move, he kind of moves your hand up to his lips and kisses the back of your hand.
He doesn't flinch.
And then he kind of looks over to Calvin. I really appreciate your assistance and the help of your family and everything. Thank you very much for that.
Hey, you seem like a cool dude.
I do try. And he, heads out, goes on a shopping spree.
Well, before he leaves, I'd be like, but if you ever do want to get punched in the face and punch me in the face, I know some places we can do that.
A very tempting offer. Maybe later this week. See how I'm feeling. He heads out. Yeah, you're pretty sure he has a body of at least 8. He's a pretty sturdy looking fellow. Like he's like 6'3", maybe 300 pounds. Pretty sturdy guy.
Damn.
Yeah. He has like a little bit of a punch, but it's mostly just muscle. Like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy in like popular media. Did anybody see that Black Widow movie?
Mm-mm.
Don't have Disney Plus.
Like the Captain America equivalent for Russia, the Red, whatever his name was.
Oh my god.
Oh, that guy.
He's that
The
guy,
Red Guardian, yeah.
the Red Guardian, but no beard, no facial hair, perfectly clean, smooth shaven.
He is hilarious.
Yeah. Also, he's in much fancier clothing.
He's way stronger. I'm gonna get knocked
He's
out.
cute.
He's adorable.
Yep. But yeah, he leaves. You guys
it's
head
David
back.
Harbour.
Oh yeah, no, it's Stranger Things for sure.
Oh fuck, I love David Harbour.
But back at the site, you're going over that plan. Was there any other plans that you want to kind of put into onto the table? Does anybody have any thoughts as to how we're going to engage in this? What sounds like a very simple job.
They all fucking sound like
Famous
simple
last
jobs.
words.
And then I
Simple
blow up
way
a
to get
train on
your-
the other side of town to distract the cops.
You're
Everything has. You can make
I mean,
layers
we
wherever
could
you
do
want
that
to make
again.
layers.
You're literally just. You're just trying to go to the ATM. That's literally the mission.
In Night City,
I mean,
even
one of
going to
us
the
could-
ATM is a fucking.
Well, again, it's mainly because of the ATM you're going to and what you're doing to the ATM. But yeah. I agree.
Okay, so it sounds like we have a couple options. We can either go in and do like an elaborate thing. Like, so are we using the like, hey, I'm here to help Gramps set up a bank account as like a distraction? Or is that to get to the internal ATM and be like, okay, Grandpa, this is how you use the ATM?
well, yeah, because see, this is the deal, right? Is if we are like everyone pulls up to the bank like guns loaded, like pointing guns everywhere.
We gonna look like bank robbers.
Well, and this fucking goofy looking like child with goggles, like right on the ATM. I think someone's gonna get paged, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, go investigate what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the solution is to that.
So I
think
feel like
forming a distraction of some sort might be a good idea, but
yeah,
Okay.
like a distraction, or we have multiple teams so it doesn't look like we're all together
Mm.
type of thing. I mean, I guess the other option is just some of us just stay in the car out of sight or the truck, and then if shit goes down, we pop out guns
so
blazing.
Sugar definitely will need someone next to her. She's not going to go walk up to that ATM
No.
without somebody with a gun right next to her.
Mm.
Magpie, you know all about this business. We've been playing together long enough. You know, I need muscle next to me, and then we'll need someone to cover us. So I don't know. People can be at different vantage points. Sugar doesn't give a shit about any of that strategy. All she knows is she needs a bodyguard and she needs someone to cover while she hacks in.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Keep brainstorming. Sounds like
Question:
you're
on our flight back to the office, how long of a detour would it be to get? It would be a really long detour to fly over that place, right? Like hours out of the way.
It's a ways away, yeah. Also, no refueling in Pacifica. Well, no, sorry, for AVs there would be. Yep, you could just drop off at the resort.
Right.
Or near the Pacifica Mall.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to spend that much time just to get a drive by.
And money, the price is pretty hefty on the refuels.
I do drive-bys. I could literally drive by.
We can take the truck though. And just, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think going inside is just such an unnecessary risk.
Yeah.
Well, we don't
There's
have to get
no-
inside, but I have to be within. I had to take out. Well, okay, so I can either be. I have to be within at the very least 6 meters away from the ATM.
Do
Or-
you have to be 6
Yes.
meters, or does
I was gonna say, could we
an
remote
access
Or do I have to
point
go make
that
a
you have a
withdrawal?
remote connection to need to be within 6 meters? Because you didn't have to be within 6 meters on the last mission.
Well,
we
right.
had
because
someone who had an access point for you.
Right,
So can
right.
we
Well-
get you an access point through some other means? Like,
runner?
I mean,
Like-
we would have to hire somebody else, but that's not the problem, right? Like somebody's gonna need to be there, and it might as well be me, right? Like someone needs to
Okay.
be near that ATM.
so why can't we just drive the truck with you inside of the truck right up to the ATM outside?
We can.
Racer.
Is that if there's a camera at that ATM, as there likely is,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're going to see someone. I mean, maybe I can just like hide so that it just looks like you're just there parked. But like, unless we're interacting with it or whatever, that net run's not going to be instantaneous. It might take a couple minutes at least. So like, there has to be. Go ahead,
Alright.
Magpie, sorry.
So we get a hold of a card and punch in a code wrong, like our pin wrong a couple times. Gives you time to hook up.
Because it's not like that bank. Is it that bank specifically, or is it like
That
the
tank
ATM?
specifically.
Okay, but I mean, like the ATM. Is it an ATM that anyone can use?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
is
I
it?
guess how does the financial system?
Okay.
Like,
in
do
Night
they still
City
charge
work?
$2 to withdraw from a stranger ATM?
Oh, it's
I'm
not
sure.
worth it then.
No.
We're not even gonna
So,
fake it.
okay, a cred chip
dollars worth so much more than Eddie's.
a cred chip account can pull from anywhere.
Okay.
It's more or less what you're thinking of when you think of like a checking account. Okay, it's basically an amount of money has been put into an account and is utilized via transactional electronic transactions.
Mhm.
Okay, but I think the question is like, if I don't have an account at Pacifica,
Hold on, let me make
Oh,
sure
sorry.
you understand. So
I'm sorry,
that's what a
go ahead.
cred chip account is. That's what everybody has. Now, a banking account is different. That in our world has basically become a situation where you can have a credit or have a checking account card, a debit card, and you can go to any ATM and withdraw whatever you want. That is not the case for bank cards. If you have a bank account, that account can only be withdrawn from a branch. You cannot. It is basically a savings account.
Like real bank cards.
well, yeah, like if I have a Wells Fargo account, I can and I go to Wells Fargo,
Well, that's not
I can't
true.
use my Bank America card to withdraw.
But sometimes
Right.
there's certain transactions that you have to do where you have to go to the original bank.
Right.
Right.
Because
Right.
I've had to do that somewhat recently.
For terminology's sake, there are probably checking accounts and savings accounts at banks. Those are real things that exist in the world.
Yeah.
But for the purposes of transactions, a credship account is not a bank account. It is what you have, which is basically just like a personal financial.
It's like a PayPal account.
It's like a PayPal account. Whereas a bank account in Cyberpunk is going to be more like what you think of as a savings account. It's money that you have inside of a bank that can be moved to different locations, but it's handled through the bank and the bank only.
Okay.
That's even true with checking accounts that would be present in a bank account. It's just that you could also form checks, digital or otherwise.
Right.
So is this a branch that's located outside of Pacifica as well?
There is 2 total locations for the Pacifica West Bank locations. One is located there in the bad, not so good area, and the other is nothing more than an ATM set up on the border, literally at Border Patrol.
Probably the worst place.
So probably, yeah. So
Now, the one thing
Yeah.
that you know about the Pacifica West Bank ATM at the border is it also honors several banking accounts located in SoCal, specifically Los Angeles. So it is a bit more. It's a bit more like a transactional. Like if people are going through the border and they want to move their money from SoCal to NorCal, and like not have to carry it with them in the massive span of wastelands in between, they can basically put it into their account, drive, get to the border, withdraw it, drive up to Night City, the final stretch.
Okay.
It sounds like you have a decent amount of information. There's probably more questions that need to be asked. Definitely think about those questions over the course of the next week and ask them in the general chat. I'll come up with a couple of other things that I think of along the way and I'll also give you kind of a setup, which is something you could find out of the specific area that you're kind of going into. And I'll get that into notifications. In the meantime, just think of what questions you have regarding the area, regarding the Voodoo Boys, regarding the bank, regarding anything else that you've been thinking of, and put those in the chat and let me know. And we'll deal with the actual job, the gig, either at the start of next session or shortly after you have a bit more planning time at the start of next session. Sound good?
Great.
All right.
Thanks for watching those that did. We'll pick up next session with part 4 of this series.
Adios.
Good old fashioned bank heist. All right, later.
Woohoo!